What is going on, YouTube? Happy Saturday. We got the grand finals of the Overwatch League tonight. We have Overwatch 2 footage right before at 8 o'clock today. We're going to be covering all of it today. How are you doing? Hope you're having a great weekend. Hope you had a great week. Welcome to Last Call Gaming. Yeah, this is a bit of a different thing for us today. I'm going to be calling the Overwatch League match today, and we're going to be live reacting to the Overwatch 2 stuff and get a good glimpse at this first look and all that other fun stuff while it's happening live, because, I mean, why not? I mean, Overwatch has been such a big part of my life prior to the founding of this channel. It's made its appearances on this channel. I have ground that game into, well, the ground. And tonight we've got the Atlanta Reign, which I certainly didn't expect, certainly didn't have them in my bracket. And we have the Shanghai Dragons, which admittedly I also didn't have in my bracket making it to the grand finals. So big things are ahead. This is going to be an exciting game. I'm probably going to have to dip for like 2 seconds here in about 5 minutes because I ordered food and I'm waiting for that to show up. But we're watching the Overwatch League Grand Finals. I'm gonna move over to chatting for a second while they're doing their opening bits prior to our stream starting. But I will be playing a little bit of Overwatch tonight in between some of the games. I'm gonna be doing some custom games for the fun of it. And yeah, we're gonna have a good time. So obviously, this is a very different sort of thing for me. I am gonna be live reacting on stream today, which, you know, I don't think I've really done yet. I've definitely done, I've done a lot of live reacts on this channel, but they have been primarily just me making the video content for the channel. This very likely will end up in a video later this weekend, early next week, but for now, we are going to be doing a live react. So if you're in chat, if you're showing up, make sure before anything that you leave a like. You leave a like for this video, this stream. It helps people find us while we're live. It'd be super cool if we had a really interactive chat tonight while the game is going on, because I've got a lot of things to say specifically about the Overwatch League. But we're getting our first look at the 5v5 format tonight. That's going to happen, I think, at halftime of the league game. Weirdly enough, there's going to be a halftime. I don't know if it's really going to be at the half. I'm sort of predicting a 3-1 sort of deal with Shanghai coming out on top, but we'll talk about that closer to the game. Prior to that, we're going to get our first look at the reworks for Overwatch 2, meaning what are they going to change about heroes like Bastion and Sombra. We're going to get the whole spiel from the devs themselves. It's going to be a good time. So, welcome. Let's have a look at what they've got going on in the background here. They're starting in about, I think they're going to start the coverage in about 15 minutes, but they're talking a little bit about the game so far. So I might as well do the same. Hold on, let me do, oh, I don't have a button for that. That's unfortunate. Live react. Okay. So anyway, for those of you who haven't been keeping up with this, we had a barn burner of a series of playoff games the past 5 days, I guess. It's been Tuesdays when they started, and from what I can tell, nobody's brackets really stayed intact. Mine certainly died the other night when the Atlanta Reign beat the LA Gladiators, and, well, did not expect that. Anyway, as a result, we have the Atlanta Reign versus the Shanghai Dragons. Last night, the Atlanta Reign took on the Dallas Fuel, and I would like to say the stronger of the two teams won, but I honestly think that Atlanta just wanted it more. We're talking about two teams here that had very, very similar play styles, and a play style that is particularly weak to what the Dragons are bringing to the table today. The Atlanta Reign and the Fuel have the same weakness, and that is that they are very one comp dependent, and they're not particularly flexible with how they can play the game. That is unfortunately what unfortunately was the downfall for the Dallas Fuel both nights, when they really couldn't adapt to the slight changes in play style. Fortunately, the Reign have a little bit of adaptability. They can sort of play the wrecking ball comp that's becoming more prevalent right now in the current meta. However, I do not think that anybody is doing it quite as refined as the Shanghai Dragons. Because of that, I'm predicting a 3-1 victory for Shanghai tonight. I would like to say that that Atlanta has more of a chance, and I really hope that they put on a show tonight. I personally, from what I've watched from them the entire the entirety of the playoffs, I've been very, very impressed. I did not have them making it to the grand finals. I didn't even have them making it past like the second or third round, honestly, because they have not been that strong of a team this year. They've come out ahead in a couple of the tournaments with this weird tournament format that they're doing this year for the league, but never once have they really performed kind of the way that they needed to get the job done. They've been hit or miss, and for that, I did not expect them to come out swinging. But they have something to prove. They've been knocked out of the grand finals twice now in a row, both times, I believe, by the Shock, and very close to the grand finals themselves. So they've really wanted to come back and really stick it to these grand finals. And to be honest, they have been showing that they've got the fire for it. Considering the play style of the Dallas Fuel is very similar to theirs, they came out and just handed it to them. And the mistakes from Dallas really showed last night, and you know what? They wanted it more. And if they want it bad enough, I could see them going, I could see this whole thing becoming like a 5-map, 6-map barn burner like the rest of the series has been to this point. So I'm really looking forward to it. That being said, the Shanghai Dragons were another team that really surprised me this time around. Because of the same reasons, honestly, as the Atlanta Reign. The whole season, they've looked kind of inconsistent. They've been getting stronger over the past couple of months, really. They've started to really improve, specifically in the past, and just at the switch of this meta. They've really refined a very aggressive Wrecking Ball style that you honestly don't see outside of like the streamer play. It used to be that Wrecking Ball was very almost a defensive pick for most teams, even though like his main goal was to be disruptive, but you didn't see them play nearly as aggressive as they're playing right now, and that was across the board. It looks like Shanghai has really presented themselves with like this very, very aggressive comp, and they're showing that they're flexible. They can play dive, they can play a little bit of rush, but primarily it's the ball comp that is coming out on top these days, and that's where I think they're going to have the one-up advantage on Atlanta, because Atlanta just doesn't play it quite as cleanly as Shanghai does. So we'll have to see what happens. Coverage continues in 2 minutes. That's why you're watching me right now, is because my coverage goes start to finish today. It's going to be a great time. I say that and my food's going to get here in like 2 or 3 minutes, and I'm going to have to like step away for like 2 seconds just to grab it. But either way, we've got full coverage today. I'm really, really excited to see what happens with this Overwatch 2 reveal, because I myself am very curious. We have no idea. We have no idea what to expect from Overwatch 2. We saw some gameplay back in, oh my goodness, it feels like an eternity ago. It was back in March. And we know now that they're going to go 5v5 next year. We know that an entire role is being cut from the game, basically. And we didn't really see how it was going to play out. We had the devs, excuse me. My coverage still made it back before theirs did, so I'm calling that a victory. Anyway, where's my dog? There she is. Okay. Anyway, I digress. We're gonna put this on chatting for a minute, and now we'll leave it. We'll leave it so that we know when it changes over to the actual gameplay. Anyway, we saw the game go 5v5. We saw basically the devs play it, but the devs playing it didn't really give us a good clue into what we were going to expect from the game moving forward, because the devs, believe it or not, are not pro players. Yes, they developed the game. Yes, they basically built it from the ground up, but even they can't break their game. Only the pros can break their game. So today we're gonna see an exhibition game, 5v5 format, that will give us a better idea of how the game is gonna play when Overwatch League returns next year, roughly in late summer. It's going to start significantly later because they're going to be playing on an early release patch of the game. So, that being said, man, I'm actually going dry here too. I'm going to need a lot of water tonight because it's going to be a long night of shot calling. That being said, very much looking forward to tonight. I think it's going to be a really great game regardless of the outcome. I think this is probably one of the better outcomes from the bracket this time around. I really would have liked to see, honestly, I really would have liked to see Los Angeles versus the Shock. Obviously didn't pan out. but I think we got a heck of a game tonight. Atlanta looks like they really want it. I am looking forward to see what they have to offer. I'm wearing red in support of Atlanta for right now. If they lose, this red will be in support of Shanghai. Hey, what's up, Aiden? How you been doing? Been a long time since you've been able to make one of these. It's all right, man. You're here now, and we're gonna be covering the Overwatch. They put space on the panel? That's just mean. Hold on. I gotta. Diva's amazing, he says. The #1 Diva player in the world right now, and he says Diva's amazing. No kidding. Some real cutting-edge commentary there. Why would you, like, why bring space onto this? That seems almost like insult to injury after they lost to the Atlanta Reign. Oh, he's in the exhibition. Okay, hold on. We're gonna pull this back a little bit.
Which I think a lot of people don't really know yet. Is that
now these guys have been playing on an early version of the patch, or an early version of the game, so they already have an idea of how this is gonna. They've already had a chance to break it, is what I'm saying.
We also have new game modes as well.
New game modes.
What was your first impression of the push?
I'm gonna be. I will be eating a little bit while we watch some of the early coverage, but I'll also be reacting to it in real time because.
Later during the halftime show, I think you guys are gonna see us play. But we just kept going at it. It's definitely a good replacement for 2CP.
Got a nice burrito bowl for the night, but I will not eat until the coverage starts so that we get a better idea. I think this is like cool for me to stream and react to. And actually, I'm gonna make myself a little bit bigger. Going pretty well, but this semester is a little more hectic than you planned. It'd be like that sometimes. I remember my undergrad years. That's that is par for the course.
We were just going at it, respawn after respawn, battling, just
I'm excited to see what they do with this 5v5 format. I'm actually very, I said this like not like 5 minutes ago even, but I'm really excited to see how this changes the game because I was not convinced watching the original coverage of the game changes. I think to me, eliminating one of the tank roles, it's supposed to make it more aggressive, but I don't really see that. I think what we're going to see is changes towards making every tank more of an off-tank role. So you're going to see a more aggressive Reinhardt. You're going to see a more aggressive Monkey with more DPS-focused abilities than Damage Sponge. And that could be good for the game, but it's going to put a lot of main tanks out of a job.
It was a lot different because, you know, it was harder to charge ultimate. You couldn't get it beat up as fast as when you had 6v6. So
and that's the other thing, it mainly affects the support role. Because with a second tank to not absorb damage, you're not healing as much as quickly. You don't have a damage sponge target to really bring back some of those ultimate charges on the support front.
How does it feel to play tank in Overwatch 2? Because of course it's
here we go.
5, and as you said, it's a lot more faster paced.
Let's turn the volume up on this.
You know, as a main tank, I don't know how much main tank you played. Do you feel like as a main tank you have time to set up with your shields, or is it way more fast-paced playing Soya, like damage output?
Way more fast-paced?
Okay, so I would definitely take what I'm about to say with a grain of salt.
Grain of salt, okay.
As I said, it's still super early beta what we played, and a lot of the tanks weren't actually reworked yet. You know,
oh good.
Weren't actually in that we could completely play.
So they didn't rework the tanks for this. They didn't rework the tanks for that. That's okay. That is classic Blizzard. That is so classic Blizzard. Yeah, we're gonna give them Overwatch 2 and give them a chance to break the game, but the game's not breakable yet.
Make all of them self-sustainable. So it's going to be different to see all of them play, you know.
So all of the tanks are going to be more self-sustained focused, which makes sense.
A tank your DPS, and you know you just got to fight and show how good you are.
Finally, my Reinhardt.
Yeah, so they're turning the tank into a third DPS role. Basically, Overwatch 2 is going to be DPS the game, which I'm fine with. I'm fine with the game being more DPS focused, and I'm fine with making the tank role fun to play. What I'm not okay with is the fact that Blizzard decided they weren't going to have the tanks ready for this exhibition. It'll be nice to see how it plays 5v5 though. I mean, that's at least something, but it will be a very different game. I'm expecting off tank versus off tank. I bet we won't even see a Reinhardt play.
A lot of the new stuff was just like the graphic designs and a lot of the new sounds, different animations, really cool. Some of the reworks are insane, like just the way the characters look and feel. It felt really smooth, the game in general.
The 2 next to the logo?
I think
yeah, we're doing, so tonight is a live watch party for the Overwatch Grand Finals, but during the halftime of the Grand Finals, we're gonna get an exhibition game of the 5v5 for Overwatch 2, and then with pros playing it, so we'll have an idea of how it's gonna look next year for Overwatch League, and then also starting at 8 o'clock, they're gonna give coverage of some of the changes that are gonna happen to Overwatch 2.
Ooh, honestly, on push, it felt like just a lot of team fights and the ults weren't really there as much, like you said. But I think once we start to get more of the flow of the game, we'll see the ult charges coming up, and we'll see how each ult impacts every fight. But it's going to be interesting for sure. Maybe each pick you get might change the fight completely.
So we all
That is the other thing. With 5v5, every single pick matters significantly more. What's the difference between Apex and Overwatch? Overwatch is a team shooter, right? Technically, I guess Apex is too, but Overwatch is much more difficult. Like, you need team play to really be successful in Overwatch. Apex, you're much more, you have a little bit more leeway because it's battle royale. But Overwatch is a team sport. It's 6v, well, it's about to be 5v5 starting next year, but it's a 6v6, 2 tank, 2 support, 2 DPS role type situation. And so for grand finals tonight, I'll be commentating, sort of explaining some of the finer details as things go on, because the plan is to use some of this as a reel to you know, audition for esports commentator positions, stuff like that.
I'm so curious. I just want to ask so many questions.
You will get an opportunity.
Overwatch is super fun. I will also be, I should mention, I will also be playing some Overwatch tonight in between some of the, in the interim while they're doing some of this stuff, because I can't, like, this is their content, you know. It's legal for me to do this, but it's their content, so.
It's going to be the DPS players for sure. We had some Decay Widow.
What did I tell you?
It was nasty. I'm worried about playing against some of these guys at solo tank, you know.
It's gonna be a really big DPS game starting next year.
Against Lip at solo tank, you know, just sub me out. You know what I mean? Like these guys are gonna be different on the DPS, so I think that the game is gonna be crazy. For
Yeah,
DPS players.
it will be. I think it will be really fun to watch. I think what's gonna happen is it's already fun to watch, especially if you know what's going on. But I think the big difference between this year and next year is going to be, like, if you don't play Overwatch right now, it's kind of hard to understand the nuances that are going on in the pro play. But I think when they make the shift to 5v5, it's going to simplify the game to the point where anybody can just watch it and know what's going on, because it's going to be much more DPS focused.
And hear me out for this one. So my reasoning is, I think that Atlanta's playstyle is very different from many other teams that Shanghai's played against. I think the pressure is on Shanghai. The mental battle, it's going to be
okay.
Everyone expects them to win.
So Space is calling an Atlanta victory, and honestly,
I think we'll see how Shanghai.
I hope he's right. Like, I am low key rooting for Atlanta because I think it's a nice underdog story. I think they deserve it, and the way they've been playing the last couple of days, they want it. They want it really, really bad. Like they have fought, like they have been playing more ferociously than I've ever seen them play. More ferociously than I've seen them play all season. And if anything, like, I respect that to a very strong degree. I think Atlanta's looking really, really strong right now, but I do not think that their comp stands up to Shanghai's. I really don't. There's a chance, okay? There is a chance that the ferocity that they bring to the game can overturn the cleanliness that Shanghai has this season, or currently, in this meta. But the thing is, the DPS difference is massive. Atlanta just has Pelican. Pelican, if he's allowed to, like, if he's allowed to his own devices, he can sweep the game. But the duo of Lip and Fleta is insane. Like, they're cracked out of their minds. They're built completely different. And I think that damage focus is going to show pretty early on. And if they can't counter that, that's going to be their downfall. Not, like, completely glossing over the fact that the Wrecking Ball gameplay from Shanghai is extremely clean and very aggressive and very hard to deal with. It's just very disruptive.
Of today's grand finals, but do not go anywhere, because after the break, Jeff Goodman from the Overwatch team joins the show for an exclusive first look at the reworks for Sombra as well as Bastion. See, Danny, don't wait.
Okay, so they're going to talk to us about the reworks for Sombra and Bastion. And I think that's it, but I'm curious to see what they're going to do to Bastion. Because everyone, you know, he's a topic of controversy for the game. Like, people get mad about Bastion players. So I'm very curious to see how they're going to rework him.
In the Overwatch comic,
Oh, we're just going.
We learned that Bastion and Torbjorn have now become friends.
Bastion and Torbjorn are friends. That's good.
Can't resist giving his friend some upgrades. This ties in well with our philosophy for the new looks, which is to make our heroes feel techier and sleeker. With Bastion, it's a little tricky at first, because if you think of Bastion,
his rework is they gave him a hat.
Very rickety old truck, in the way he moves and the way he looks. We were able to give him a slightly sleeker look while preserving some of that rustic flavor in his animations. You'll notice that tech upgrades weren't the only thing that Bastion got, though. He also grabbed one of Torbjorn's old hats. When we first added Ganymede to Bastion's kit, it was to make him feel more approachable and more relatable.
Did they take the bird away?
He did something very similar while playing off his newfound friendship with Torbjorn.
His ultimate is that the bird now gets a gun. Okay, that's the looks. Okay.
Overwatch League is brought to you by
All right, Overwatch. All right.
Provider of the Overwatch League.
So we are gonna get a look. Sorry, I'm gonna be eating intermittently while this is going on, which is not the best way to record this, but I didn't have a chance to eat dinner because it's been a very busy day. So while we're watching these reworks, it's burrito bowl o'clock, and then I promise you, my commentary for the game will be substantially better. Mostly this is going to be a live react to the changes because I'm curious to start, because I'm curious as to how they're going to change Sombra, but I'm really curious as to how they're going to change Bastion, because both characters are potentially problematic in the coming years. Overwatch 2 costs money. Got to get sponsors before the player base sends all their money to loot box. I mean, you're not wrong. But I think what we're gonna see is that Bastion moves towards more like a Soldier 76 style, a little bit more mobile, less like park and shoot. And I think that's largely because, like, if they want Overwatch 2 to be more aggressive and more like DPS focused, the stationary gameplay isn't gonna cut it. I would also wager that Sombra is gonna get rid of her like infinite invisibility, because that's something else that could be potentially very problematic for the game moving forward. But we'll see. We'll know in about 2 minutes. One thing's for sure, though. In regards to the league matches this year, these playoffs have been insane. The game, the Atlanta Reign game versus Dallas last night was one of the craziest things I've seen in the Overwatch League since I started watching. And like, I've seen some clutch plays, but Atlanta went from losing the first couple of fights to just ripping through Dallas and forcing mistakes. And if they can, like I said earlier, if they can do that again tonight, they actually do stand a chance against Shanghai, which is why I'm low-key rooting for them. I think it would be a really cool comeback story. They got the odds are not in their favor, though. Their tank line is questionable. If Gator decides he doesn't want to feed, then I think they have a really good chance, but he tends to overextend quite a bit. All right, let's see what we got here.
Welcome back, one and all. See, here's the thing. Bastion ain't the only one who got a rework.
Sombra's not the only. Bastion's not the only one that got a rework.
This is your
They also made Sombra edgier.
That's what you can expect from next season.
I love
You're gonna wear hats at all times. But no,
Oh, it's 808. It's 808 already. Why are they not? Why are we not covering changes right now? Is it because we have to like?
To Overwatch lead hero designer Jeff Goodman. Jeff, how are you doing?
Hey,
Okay, here we go.
Thanks.
Let's turn this up.
We're doing great. Do you like our rework?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love
Big
it.
fan of the hats over
It's
here.
great. You don't even need him. It doesn't even look that sunny
what we
out there
thought.
anymore.
All right, Jeffy Jeff.
It really doesn't. It's still
One more
good.
Jeff on the
It's still
Overwatch
good. You
team.
would like it.
The only remaining Jeff.
I'm just in my room
Don't
here.
come at you.
I'm jealous.
Now, Jeff, let's start with a really easy question for you. When's the release date? No, I'm just.
What's the release date? All right,
Shoot
cool.
my shot there.
Yeah, Jeff. Let us know. When's it coming out?
What can you tell us about how the game is coming along so far?
No, it's coming
It's
along
not
great.
done.
We're doing just constant play tests all the time. And
Oh, are you?
New things we want to try, and a lot of things that aren't working, a lot of things that are working, sort of surprising us. So I think we're sort of in this world now where we're still sort of experimenting with a lot of big things, like
Things are working. Things aren't working. It's basically it's development of a game.
tank and stuff like that. I don't know if that'll work. It probably won't work, but you know,
Oh, why
we're
not?
just
I like the
trying
sound of
stuff.
that.
Why not?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Jeff. Why don't we let's just give the people what they want.
Yeah, give the people what they want.
The first thing that we'll be looking at is the new Sombra rework.
Starting with Sombra.
Say to set this up.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of this is, we've talked about this a little bit before, but
Come on.
we have this sort of goal we're going for right now to try to sort of reduce crowd control effects.
Okay, so they're trying to get rid of CC altogether. I forgot about that. Well, not get rid of it altogether, but reduce it significantly.
Tanks is kind of like a big thing that they get to do, and it's like their big role.
Which is important because with only one tank, if you have the level of crowd control that's currently in the game, the one remaining tank will just explode.
Is really necessary. What do we think we can get away with? What feels kind of fair and what feels kind of unfair? I know that's a little.
What feels unfair? Have you looked at McCree's stun recently?
So for
Maze
right now,
freeze.
Anna still has her sleep dart. We kind of feel like that's pretty fair. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out that people don't like that. I don't know. I think most people think it's pretty cool. But as part of these changes,
Don't touch my
Sombra.
Don't touch my hand.
Honestly, I think the sleep dart's fine to stay because it's a skill shot. If you don't hit it,
a big target.
you don't sleep your opponent.
She's all about crowd control in some sense.
And yeah, Sombra. That's the reason they have to focus on Sombra right now because she's exclusively crowd control, nothing more.
Sort of disabling effects while still keeping her really strong. So I think that's a decent lead, and I think it kind of explains.
So
Well, we like the sound of that.
Give her mind control. She can hack Wrecking Ball and just control him like a friggin' drone.
Yes, please.
That'd be funny. All right, here we go. Let's get serious. That's a cool emote.
For Sombra's rework, we have some really important changes that can dramatically affect the way she's played.
Overall, we are reducing her CC abilities in line with larger changes to Overwatch 2 and giving her more potential damage.
That's
Let's
extremely
start with
vague.
Changes to her hack ability. First, we significantly reduced the cooldown.
Good.
Secondly, her hack now lasts 8 seconds, but now has 2 components to it. The first component of the ability works exactly like it does in Overwatch 1, disabling abilities. However, that effect now has been reduced to 1 second. The second component of hack is a brand new effect that reveals hack targets to Sombra.
That's
and her
oh, so they're giving her wall hacks.
and it lasts the entire duration of the hack.
They're giving her wall
In addition
hacks.
to that, her passive has gained the ability to do 50% more damage to hacked targets.
That's a cool little soft buff. I like that actually a lot.
We tweaked it so it no longer removes all shields, but instead, it now just deals damage to enemies equal to 40% of their current health. Combined with her new passive effect, this gives her even more finishing potential.
That feels
Lastly,
broken.
an update that really leans into her character is that you can now hack while being in stealth mode. You are briefly
Oh, so
revealed
she's just
when
busted.
hacking, but it no longer removes stealth completely.
See you later.
Yeah, so she's just busted. Okay, cool. I'm glad we cleared that up. She is Sombra's gonna be broken. Like,
Wow.
Wow, indeed.
Wow. Big fan of that.
Sorry, guys.
if you're watching this and haven't done so already, toss the video a like for the broken Sombra that we're gonna get in Overwatch next year. Up to 40% of their health. Yes. Up to 40% of their remaining health. That is insane.
I mean, you mentioned it going into the video, of course. You've been taking an approach, talking about these different
Good lord,
crowd
man.
control
She
effects,
is gonna
whether it's
be
maze, freeze ability, and in this case,
filthy.
attack
Like,
ability.
wall
What's your
hacks,
thinking,
damage.
when it
Basically,
came to hacks?
basically they did what
How did you approach
they
this
they
ability,
they did
and
a
what
seer,
you decided to
like
do?
Apex Legends. They did a seer.
Yeah, so it was pretty.
That's what
tricky
they've done.
because,
That is what
she's
they have
so
done.
Tied to this crowd control effect, so we wanted to, but we didn't want to take the hack away from her because she's a hacker. That doesn't make any sense. So we want to still be core to how she works and how she plays. So we started looking at other effects and what could we do.
We wanted her to still be a
that
hacker,
is impactful,
but we
is
wanted to decide. We wanted her to just destroy everyone.
locking somebody out of their abilities for so long.
She's
We
gonna
actually tried
eat
it for
everybody.
a while where she just couldn't disable
The
it
poor
at all.
tanks. What are they gonna do?
But there's some cool moments where you get to sort of, counter like a fair ult like you see in the video or something if you're there at the right time or you're waiting for it at the right time.
If you're there at the
So we
right
ended up
time.
keeping it in for just a
She's
short
always
period,
there
not
at the
much
right
shorter.
time though, because if she
It's
can't,
almost more of a
if she
turnaround.
can hack while still being invisible,
Setting somebody up for a long
she's always
duration.
she's always there at the opportune
But
moment.
we let the hack last a little longer, and then most importantly, she gets to do a ton more damage when she
Exactly.
takes
That's
hack
exactly it.
targets.
It they did a
It's
seer.
really this play when you're playing against her where, she can hack while she's stealth. So, your backline starts to get hacked. It's almost like like a.
Now I'm scared for what they did to
flag drop,
Bastion.
Like I'm about to come at this person. It's like a warning to everybody.
I like
that, you know, and it's almost like a disadvantage for her in a way. Yeah, exactly. Where you know she has to essentially call her targets before she gets to do real big damage to them. So. But on the flip side,
I'm scared for what they did to Bastion now. If that's what they're doing to Sombra, what is Bastion gonna look like? Now he gets a turret and his bird gets a turret.
As well, the ability to mark targets essentially and then go after them. I think it's a really.
And you know what? Ganymede can fly around and they got rid of Ganymede. He now has an A10 Warthog. His alt is he turns into an A10 Warthog.
Now with this new rework, maybe we can.
My God, dude.
Oh, you want to be the Sombra tonight?
Oh. All right.
I mean, yeah, Jeff, you talked a little.
All right, Jeff from the other Overwatch team.
The new rework and everything, but I want you to, you know, I want to ask you a little bit deeper. What direction are you trying to go with Sombra, just as a hero?
We want her to be busted.
So, I mean, I've always liked that she's sort of this, a little more of a setup hero. Like, obviously
I always liked that she was a setup hero, but I always thought she would be better if she just nuked everybody on the field.
The group. So I like that she's got this hybrid sort of very situational awareness and timing.
That's what made her so powerful. Was like she was off meta, but like when she hits, she hits already.
Intact, and so I think a lot of what we see.
A lot of mobility characters in Overwatch. Yeah, there's actually a fair amount.
You know, playtesting
each role has at least two that I can think of.
The hack cooldown's really low now. So, like I said before, when you hack somebody, you're kind of calling them out. Like, I'm about to open.
It's a different kind of fast-paced.
And then you're still stealth, run to a completely different area, hack
like I said, because it's a team-based game, like each character is unique. So like there's a lot of diversity in the cast, and
plus the EMP just got so much more powerful.
Each role has like
I did want to talk to
at least 2 to 3 mobility-based heroes, which are, you know, it makes it fun. It makes it you really have your choice of playstyles, and they shake up the meta pretty regularly so that everyone cycles through every now and again.
A big like tuning moment of like how much damage can this Sombra really put out, because she's going more to, as you said, DPS than a crowd control hero.
She's becoming more of a DPS. And see, everyone was speculating they were going to turn her into a support.
Interesting to play with.
LOL.
It doesn't remove shields anymore like it used to, so actually it does less damage to Zarya and Zenyatta. Any hero that has a ton of extra shields.
Technically, yes.
So, I mean, Zenyatta players are probably saying this is like a buff, actually.
Yeah, it does soft buff the shielded Legends. I can't flip on a dime like this anymore.
So, it's different than Sigma's ultimate, where it's their max health, so it can't actually kill anybody. But, you know, the earlier you do it in the fight as a big setup move, it does so much more damage and weakness.
Oh, it's based on the max health?
It's this great sort of alley-oop. You know,
so, like, the less health you have left, the less damage it does to you?
Doesn't really change, but...
Point, yeah. Well, right, Jeff, Sombra isn't the only hero getting a rework in Overwatch 2. Of course, you will be.
I feel like the wall hack might distract the Sombra's team because the DPS may go chasing them or something. It's possible. Wall hacks are kind of busted in Overwatch. Like, think about Widow's ultimate. Like, yeah, Widow's ultimate is one of the most powerful in the game because of how situational it is. Because Widow players don't play every map, and on the maps that she does play particularly well, those wall hacks come in handy like crazy. So a properly timed hack is huge.
Because it got to the point where it was sort of like impossible.
Intel in games that are team-based, even like with Apex and Overwatch and you know, Rainbow Six, basically in every first-person shooter, Intel is king. Intel is king, movement is queen. In like really competitive shooters. Okay, they're gonna go to Bastion. Let's see this. I'm scared now. He is adorable though.
Bastion is getting a big rework for Overwatch 2, and the team is really excited about his changes.
Okay.
Look-wise, we updated and modernized his appearance with the use of sleeker, more modern materials.
And we gave him a hat.
We gave him a hat to help him stand out and to add an extra touch of character.
So going through Bastion's abilities, well, for starters, he no longer has his self-repair button at all.
Yes, he can't heal himself.
Instead, he now has a brand new ability that's bound to alternate fire. This ability fires a projectile that can bounce off of walls and stick to players, and it does a ton of damage, has a really big radius.
They gave him sticky bombs?
The weapon has changed significantly as well, and now has no spread at all, but has reduced fire rate to compensate. This lets him poke at much longer ranges and play a little more like a pseudo-sniper, kind of like his recon form theme is always kind of meant to be. For his ultimate, we completely changed it up. He no longer has this tank mode, he instead goes into a new artillery mode.
You then get to choose 3 points to call down an artillery strike.
They did a World of Tanks! What is this?
Now finally, something we think you'll all be excited about. While in Sentry form, Bastion can now move.
No! No, 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 no.
To have a cooldown now. This lets us keep it super strong since you can't use it all the time.
What the hell are they doing? What is this?
Oh,
Okay.
What?
Those are certainly some changes, and I have a lot of questions, but I feel like I need some time to process this. You want to take?
What are they doing?
Yeah, I mean,
what have they done?
I have a lot of questions, very good ones, of course, because that was amazing. Reworking Bastion, of course, from more of a specialist, you know, being in Sentry now. He has more mobility, as you mentioned. What was the problems you were trying to fix with Bastion, making these changes in the rework?
Yeah, so with Bastion, you know, was one of our earliest heroes, and the game was a lot different back then, of course.
Oh my goodness!
You know, we tried to tune sort of this huge disadvantage. Which
Go back, go back, go back.
How do we?
I don't know if I want to see that again.
Worth it. And I don't know if there's some magic tuning point, but I'm sure we definitely tried a lot of numbers to work there. But it really comes down to the fact that, like,
what have they done?
Able to move in a game like Overwatch, and you have heroes that have so much mobility and so much burst damage. Like,
for those of you that are watching this, you can rewind and check that back for yourself and see my reaction again, because I am blown away.
On him again, and it was like, let's look at the sort of elephant in the room here, and like, does he really need to be completely immobile to have this sort of effect?
Yes, because the problem with Bastion was that he was immobile. He was an immobile minigun.
Even just be able to move
they did another Apex. Rampart can now move with their minigun, so they were like, hey, let's make Bastion do it. Brilliant.
Right now are subject to change, of course.
Holy crap, dude.
Yeah.
This is like when they gave him a shield at the beginning of Overwatch's lifespan.
This slow, almost comedic, deadly choo-choo train coming at us like choo-choo.
I hope it makes sounds before it rounds the corners. You know it's coming. Oh no.
Oh my god. What have they done? This is gonna be nuts. No one's ever gonna play tank ever again.
How much damage does that artillery actually do? And
yeah, how much damage does it do? Give me a number.
Genji deflected.
right.
Oh, can Genji?
It's a pretty interesting ability because, you know,
if Genji can deflect that stuff, that's gonna be nuts.
Ult where you get to create this targeting area to drop. Well, in this case, artillery shells.
Yeah, it plays exactly the same as artillery in World of Tanks, which I think is hilarious. But I'm not.
Shoot 3 of them, and the actual projectile coming down from above is a projectile like any other, so it can be defense matrix, it can be reflected, it can be, you know, all these things. So you can look up and block it with Reinhardt.
I love that.
Wow. Okay, so it can be deflected, but does it deflect on the exact same arc path and go back to Bastion? Because that'd be pretty cool.
My mind is going wild with possibilities.
Can you imagine if you could deflect like a Doomfist ultimate? Like you could just send Doomfist flying back the other direction. How funny would that be?
Strike him when they're in the air.
Or just grab them. And just
grab. It always comes back to the grab.
I got nothing, man. I'm like, I am actually shocked. There's no way that that ships with that kind of power. That is remarkably busted.
One question, but I really wanted to ask this. So my favorite mode, for Bastion rework was the Sentry mode. I find that very cute as well, and I think I'm gonna enjoy it. How long can you stay in that form? Is there a time limit?
There better be a time limit on that.
Roll around, or is it rolling around?
Choo-choo forever.
Can you choo-choo forever? Yeah, drive forever.
So it has a cooldown now, which is pretty different.
Yeah, but like, how does it work?
You know, kit to be able to transform wherever he wanted to. But it got to the point where we really wanted to keep a lot of the power in this thing. Even though he can move, we wanted it to be very, very powerful.
Why?
Really
do you just not want tanks to play your game? Is that it? Is that why you got rid of one? Is that why you're making all these guys tank busters? Good God, man! The one tank is just gonna die.
Pretty high, so you definitely are gonna be able to do it a lot. But it allows us to like make the ability a lot more powerful. Oh yeah. Also, to hit on
it's like a Cinderella pumpkin kind of, right? Like
oh my God, that's way too cute of an analogy for that.
Gotta get out of there.
Just to answer your
A Cinderella pumpkin, she says.
Real quick, the damage on the ult is because I know people are gonna want to know this stuff for sure.
Gimme.
Anyway. The impact, the actual shell coming down from the sky actually does impact damage too, much like our fire rockets and Junkrat bombs and stuff like that.
Why?
The impact does 300 right now, and the explosion also does 300. So direct hit is 600 if you happen to get hit by it directly.
Oh wow!
Which is really nasty, but it's pretty
It's a
unlikely to get
delete
hit directly.
button.
And then it does, a bunch of fall off from the point of impact out too.
So you're getting landed on, so when they had a Diva mech that could land and do that number, you're basically getting hit with a Diva mech if you are in the way of that.
Dodging wrecking ball mines, and I now have another thing that I have to really avoid.
What are they? This reeks of like 70s, 80s, 90s comic book writers' rooms that are just like stuffed with cocaine.
They just wanted to bring pirate ship back.
What were these devs thinking? I mean, hey, they did kill the pirate ship meta. It's now going to be impossible to do that.
I can do it all myself. So my question with that is, like, what is the most interesting thing that you've seen with this kit change? Because there's a lot. There's the mine. There's the rolling around in Sentry, the artillery. What's your favorite thing?
What's?
Oh man, there's a lot to sort of.
Good gracious.
Here. So it's, I really love the ult. I think it's super fun. The fact you get 3 shots.
Oh, it's only 3. Oh yeah, because you wouldn't want to delete the whole team.
Typically, when you first play, you're probably just gonna carpet bomb an area, bam, 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 click them as fast as possible. Gives people less.
I really hope we see some of the pros play these changes tonight. I think that will be a very telltale sign of what's to come.
And then drop it.
I realize I'm reacting like crazy because these sound on paper busted as all hell. But there is a chance that we will see the pros play some of these tonight and get a better glimpse at what they're actually going to be capable of in real world scenarios where people are moving around, things like that.
Sitting there for too long trying to mess
Oh my goodness.
The mind games returns. I do have one last question I would like to ask anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure, I've asked you this several times. I've had the chance to speak with you, but I can't remember the answer. This time with the rework, have you actually tried Bastion being able to mount like Orisa and why did that not work?
That's an interesting way to put that. Very interesting way to put that.
It's amazing. It's like jousting. It's good. Did you try it out?
That sounds like an Orisa ability more than a Bastion ability to me. I liked it.
Just throw someone up there.
No.
So what I'm hearing from that answer, Jeff, is it's not out of question.
There's a non-0% chance that they might try that.
I fear for the sanity.
I'd very much like to see the Torbjorn reworks. Actually, I think that would be a very nice, a very nice thing to see right now.
Let's not go there. But hey, kudos to you for pushing it.
All right, it's 8:30. So what are we gonna get between now and game?
I really appreciate it. I also really appreciate you taking the time here to chat with us, Jeff. We can't wait to see what else you and the team have in store for us.
Are we gonna get like a gameplay trailer maybe?
Sure, no problem. Great to be here. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. And don't forget, everyone, we do have more Overwatch 2 content coming up at halftime for our Owl Pro. You definitely do not want to miss it. Now, you also don't want to miss the next match. It's not a big deal. It's just the Overwatch League 2021 Grand Finals. We break that.
All right, so they're going to give their breakdowns of the 2021 Grand Finals. I'll give my breakdown again.
A red team is going to win.
A red team is going to win. Exactly. Danny gets it.
A red team is gonna win.
Danny gets it. That's why I'm wearing red. Hashtag go Atlanta. Is there a big learning curve to be good? I mean, it's as with every shooter, the answer is yes. Because I would say Overwatch is far more nuanced than Apex is. Because Apex is a battle royale, right? It's a completely different thing. But and Apex is far more RNG based, so it doesn't matter how good you are at Apex. At some point, you can't offset the RNG. If you land on a place and the RNG has designated that there's going to be crap loot there, that's what you're stuck with. And good luck in the first fight. Hopefully, you make it through. Obviously, if you're really good, you can offset that a little bit. But at sometimes someone's just going to land on a better weapon than you, and they're going to fry you. Because the RNG factor is taken out, and it is a team-based game, there is a lot more nuance that goes into into Overwatch, where there are interactions between heroes that complement and counter each other. And so there's a lot of give and take there, and it's one of those games where it's very hard to carry, very easy to throw. And if your team's not on the same page, like, you really need that team play aspect. It's sort of like Rainbow Six in that way, where like if your team's not on the same page, it's very hard to carry to victory. That being said, like, a lot of, you know, it's a first-person shooter, so a lot of the same concepts still apply. If you have good aim, that's one less thing to worry about. If you know how to position yourself, generally speaking, in a fight, that's one less thing you have to worry about. But it's also role-based, so, you know, if you're a healer, you have to also know to heal your team. There's like a MOBA aspect to it, where you have to know to heal your team. You know, you have to know how to position yourself as a damage dealer. If you're a tank, you need to know where you position yourself to give your facilitate and like to facilitate your team, to enable them. That's the word, to enable them to do things. Like, every role enables every other role, and there's like a lot of interaction there. So it's a really cool game when it's played at the highest level, which is why, like, today I'm commentating on the league matches. But it's, you know, there's still a casual mode. It's still easy to pick up and play randomly, and there's certainly enough like custom game modes that are really fun and unique that means there's a lot to do. So like, it's definitely worth picking up. I don't know if like picking it up right now is a good choice, because Overwatch 2 is right around the corner, and right now the game has been having problems of its own. But it's definitely like, it's definitely a really fun game. Really fun game. But if you're, like I said, if you've played a lot of first-person shooters in your day, and you have like the core concepts down, it's not going to take much to really pick up. You're just going to have to learn what the heroes do, and you're going to have to figure out what role you're going to want to play, and then you just have to do that role. And then after that, and I mean, there's 1,000,002 videos on how to do it, and you know, you spend an afternoon on one role, you're going to be pretty okay, generally speaking. And there's a ranked grind, just like everything else. So. Coverage continues in 41 seconds. I want to hear what they have to say, and I'm going to commentate my own stuff, because I have words about the games these past couple of days. I'm gonna mute myself for 1 second here, chat.
Danny is actually my middle name.
Well, there we go. Today we learned, but we won't reveal what his actual name is. Now, I do want to welcome all of you back to 2021 season. All right, and I'm back. And I have a dog now. Because am I going to use my dog for content? Absolutely. Boo. Boo what? It's Flex Day. It's also the Overwatch Grand Finals, so we got to cover that. Here, let me raise the volume on this so I can hear what they're saying, and then. Ha! Got him. Got him. All right, let's see. What do we got here? Yeah, so they're going to go over the comps of these teams. I will also, because I know how this works. So Atlanta. While we're talking about Atlanta has a weakness that is fairly exploitable, and that is their composition is
pretty one-sided. They don't have a lot of flexibility in how they play. So that has been kind of their downfall all year, and it's why I'm surprised to see them in the grand finals today. That being said, they have shown up with sort of a ferocity that has been absent from them most of the season. And it's why I'm not counting them out entirely, and why, again, I'm sort of low-key rooting for them. Which is why I'm wearing red today, because it is for Atlanta, and if they lose, it's for Shanghai. So anyway, I suspect Shanghai will beat them because they do have this one exploitable weakness, and that is that they're sort of one-sided in their comp. They have the ability to play Rush very, very well. That being said, their dive is subpar, and their Wrecking Ball, sort of aggressive Wrecking Ball comp is not quite there. They're capable of playing it, and they can still play it at a very high level, but it's not quite as clean as what we're going to see from Shanghai. Their main tank line is are Gator and Hawk, and they are two of the best, honestly, two of the best tanks in the game currently, in the world currently, and unfortunately, Gator's a bit of a feeder. So what I suspect if they can rein that in, it will be a little bit more helpful to them as the game progresses today. But it could be a big factor if Shanghai comes out swinging with their Wrecking Ball comp, because if they can disrupt Gator enough, he's going to be out of place and dead most of the time. You're not going to see him very much as a factor. In terms of support, we have the Shanghai Dragons pulling ahead on this one for me. I think their support line is easily top tier. They have, I believe, two of the highest ranked players in the league in terms of support. I could check on that stat, but I'm not going to do that right now. Lee Jae-gon and I forget who the other one is off the top of my head, but they are both phenomenal, and you very rarely see their team without some healing at any given point. Hawk has had an insane playoffs run so far. His calls and his decision making have been through the roof, and he's really impressed me because most of the season I've been sort of stagnant on him. I've watched him and gone, he's okay. Like I said, these two tank players, him and Gator, are two very solid tank players. However, compared to some of the teams they were up against to this point, they've been sort of lackluster to me. That being said, I think Atlanta really has shown some fire, and I cannot possibly count them out. Izayaki was the other support whose name escaped me. Thank you for their coverage, helping me out a little bit out of my funk. But he is first in eliminations on Zenyatta, and this is really the key to Shanghai's comp, honestly. This is what makes the Wrecking Ball comp work so well for them, because they have a strong Wrecking Ball player who can really disrupt, and then the damage focus from the Zenyatta is just killing everything in its path. So if you can't focus a dive strong enough to get on their supports, or focus a counter to the Wrecking Ball, some crowd control counter for the Wrecking Ball, you cannot knock this comp out. Which is why I think, considering how Atlanta got here to the grand finals, I don't really see a scenario in which they win this. But I could be wrong. My bracket fell apart about a day ago when Atlanta beat the Los Angeles Gladiators. I was not expecting that. They swept them. It was insane. And so, I can't count them out, and I don't want to count them out because their story, I like a Cinderella story from this. I really, it'll melt your heart. They're coming from the losers bracket. They lost very early and were dropped down low, and they fought their way back here, and I respect that. So, I'm excited to see what they come with today. Kai, one of their DPS players. Let's talk about the DPS lines, because Kai and Pelican, the DPS for the Atlanta Reign, are excellent. They are excellent players. Pelican needs room to breathe, and his tracer play has been stellar this entire series. However, on the opposite side of this, we have Lip and Fleta, Fleta was MVP candidate last year. I believe he actually won last year. And Lip is one of the most insane hit scan players in the league as well. I think in terms of DPS matchup, Shanghai also wins this. If these guys aren't taken care of early, if they aren't focused appropriately, if they're allowed to roam free, they're a murder machine, and it's going to be insane. To be honest, you just follow ALGS. This seems way more complicated because of the player amount. Well, that's the thing. It's two different. It's two completely different things. You have to look at Overwatch more of like, it's almost like football, American football, or like basketball. Like it is a team sport. It's less individual focused. ALGS is much more individually focused because it's a 3-man team, and what each person does doesn't necessarily affect the team as a whole. They can aid one another, but they don't really hurt each other. If the machine isn't well oiled, there are sort of exploits and things to get around it that, you know, it makes it a little bit. To be honest, ALGS is less competitive as a whole by comparison, because you have controller players and mouse and keyboard players playing against one another, and as long as there are 2 input methods, it's never going to be exactly the same. There's always going to be a little asterisk next to things. It's the age-old debate, but it's ALGS it's less complicated by far and away. There is far more nuance to Overwatch League, absolutely, and that's why we're covering Overwatch League, because there's a lot to talk about, and it is something I'm very passionate about. And you know, I like ALGS. I like watching ALGS, but it's basically watching 3 people pop off, and that's cool. It has some intrigue, but it's very hard to implement into personal gameplay. The thing about Overwatch is that all of the things that happen at this level, if you have players to play with, you can implement this all the way down the ladder. Let's see what they're saying. Oh, they are split 50-50 with Atlanta and Shanghai. I am going to make my official, I will make my official call as Shanghai winning it, but I am hoping for Atlanta. I think that is what I'm going to say. I'm going to say it's going to be 3-1 Shanghai, 3-2 if Atlanta actually shows up to play today. But I'm guessing 3-1 based on the compositional differences alone. That's the other thing. That is actually the other thing. The composition in Overwatch matters so much more than it does in Oh, it is interesting. Composition in Overwatch matters significantly more than it does in Apex, by far and away. Like Apex, you can make little tweaks here and there that can really, you know, that obviously can affect your gameplay on a very high level. It can really affect your gameplay based on who you pick. But because of the way it's structured, because it's a battle royale, there are little things about the game that get in the way of composition mattering so much. At the highest level, you're going to see basically everybody play the same thing. But with Overwatch, because of the nuances between the roles and the interactions between the characters, and how each one can complement or complement or counter, because of that, like they it's more nuanced, and there's a lot of things that can go wrong. Like I said earlier, it's one of those games that's very, very hard to carry and very easy to throw.
Look, we're on the same page here. So is the turtle. You and the fans.
All right, so where are we at time-wise here? We have 15 minutes until the I was gonna say kickoff, but kickoff's not the right word. Until the grand finals kick off here, and they're gonna be right back, but I'm gonna be right here. And if you're watching this and haven't done so already, oops. If you're watching this and haven't done so already, leave a like for Midge. There we go. I'm pressing all the wrong buttons right now. But those of you that are here, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us in chat. I really appreciate everybody that's here to watch me commentate on the grand finals. It's obviously a change of pace for this channel because I normally am playing games instead of commentating on them, but I'm planning on using all of this footage for reels to get potentially like gigs commentating on some of these esports things. So I appreciate all of you for being here and interacting with me while I do this. It's really super cool of y'all. Let's turn up some of this music and turn down some of that music so that I can actually hear it. There we go. And Midge thanks you as well, because she likes the people. But yeah, it should be, tonight's going to be a great game. I think, you know, I've been very surprised the entirety of these playoffs. The new tournament format for the Overwatch League is really cool. It's really affected some of the teams in kind of negative ways because it changes how they've been able to play the game and how they've been able to refine their compositions and really show up to play. But I think as a whole, it's very, very good for Overwatch and the Overwatch League. And it's because it's more interesting to watch too. It's made the format a little bit strange for especially getting to the grand finals, but that is to be expected. And I'm probably gonna have to get some more water here before we actually get started in the grand finals, but I'll save that for a few minutes down the road. My voice would have been perfect for these jobs. Thank you. I attribute that largely to this microphone being as nice as it is, and also to me practicing a broadcasting voice. So hopefully we'll be able to use this footage for something and maybe get some jobs out of it. That'd be pretty cool. It's something I'd be really interested in as sort of a side hustle. Is there a concert going on right now? I really need to make sure this is muted then for this part of it, because I don't think this is DMCA approved. So I'm gonna put up more of my music, which is DMCA approved. Oh yeah, because they're gonna do a performance here for the last, I assume, 10 minutes before they get started. And I might as well put it over to chatting for right now. All right, Midgie. She's making me very, very warm. So, but she's gonna hang out by the desk. I'll see if I can't get a Midge cam set up while we're sitting here watching this together as a group. Screw it, as a family. All of my subscribers are family. That is how we roll here at Last Call Gaming. But yes, we have confirmation that Overwatch 2 will be coming out later next year, and the Overwatch League will return mid to late summer of next year, playing on an early patch of Overwatch 2. You will see 5v5 format. You're going to see 5v5 format at halftime today in the league match, where they have an exhibition going on with pros from the league playing on an early rendition, or an early edition. There we go. An early edition of Overwatch 2. So a lot of excitement there. Some of this will be edited down into a video later, for the YouTubes, for the algorithm, that kind of thing. However, for the time being, this will remain an Apex primarily channel. This is my way of, you know, I like to pepper in some Overwatch here and there every now and again for flex days. I like to do some other things for flex days, but this will be primarily content focused on Apex going forward, at least for the foreseeable future. We will probably be peppering in some Halo as the new game comes out, and as well as some Battlefield, just to diversify a little bit. But this will be primarily an Apex channel going forward for now. When Apex Legends, if Apex Legends does something stupid and kills their game over the next couple of weeks, which I doubt will happen, we'll make these more decisions on that as we go forward. And when Overwatch 2 comes out, there's going to be a lot of that content coming as well. Hopefully by then the channel will be large enough that I can facilitate more videos in a week, so that I could maybe do split time between Overwatch and Apex. But that's a bridge we will cross when we come to it as well. For now, though, this is what we are doing for our Flex Day. We are covering the Overwatch League Grand Finals, and this is going to be... We will be going back to Apex, our regularly scheduled program, on Tuesday of next week. So if you're just joining us and you're looking for something else tonight, then I respect it. But if you're here watching me talk about this, instead of listening to... Reinforce and Zoe and Danny, then I appreciate you for being here. I promise I will be as enthusiastic as humanly possible about this. And I think we're going to see some really cool stuff tonight. That is a lot of words. So, we still got time. With that said, actually, I'm gonna put this over to my live react again really quickly because the music kind of syncs up a little bit with the guy who's dancing. A little bit, actually. It's almost like he's grooving to this stuff, and I dig that. Almost 3 a.m. in Germany. Can't really stay long, but you'll try. I appreciate you being here as long as you can be. I appreciate you tuning in at 3 a.m. from Germany. It's always really cool to me that my content reaches across the globe. I have, like, I can look at my analytics and see kind of the percentage of my viewers in certain areas, and you know, I have a couple in Germany, I have a couple in Australia, some in the Philippines, which is very interesting to me. I think it's really cool. The internet is a remarkable, remarkable thing. Whew. I need to turn on the air conditioning too. Ah, there we go. Who did they get? I didn't actually look to see who's playing right now on stage. Well, I don't know who's playing on stage for them, but I will say that the music tonight is courtesy of 100 Thieves and Stream Beats, which is royalty-free music and good music at that. They are two companies that I thoroughly support. They do not sponsor this channel, though if they are at all if they are at all watching this or see this at some point, I would be open to that, because this channel is partially built around music and my relationship with music as well. So any music sponsorship that I could get would be super dope. So anyway, if you I will show for them a little bit though. So if you have stream needs or have needs for royalty-free music that is awesome, like good enough to listen to outside of stream, go check out Stream Beats. They have 24-hour streams running for streamers if you're not a Spotify person like me, which I am not. And also if you're like an Apple Music person like me and Apple Music doesn't work on your computer, which figures. So yeah, go check them out, give them a listen. This is from the 100 Thieves hype tracks, which I think are perfect for what we're dealing with tonight. So they are going to be in the background for this stream all night until the league match is over. Oh, I should also mention that we will be back to our regular time at 9 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday, but tonight, because of the Overwatch League stuff starting early, we started early as well, because I have to not miss that. If you are just joining us and aren't already subscribed, first of all, what are you doing? Welcome, but please subscribe and like the video so people can find us while we're live. And yeah, welcome if you're just joining us. I make a point to not see my viewer count at any given point during a stream, because I don't want that to influence how I talk. So nobody tell me. But if you're here and you're joining us and wondering what's going on, that's what's going on. We're talking Overwatch League tonight. And if I'm repeating myself, I have to do that. So, you know. I will be taking a short break in about 3 minutes here to get more water, to prep myself for the calling of the league match over the next couple hours. Hopefully the next couple of hours, because we never know. It could be a sweep. It could be a sweep, everybody. Let's not rule that out. This could be a 3-and-out for either team. So, one way or another, I'm going to be prepared. I'm going to hydrate. Let's see what's going on here in the world of the internet. Oh, also, I haven't even mentioned. I have Amazon affiliate links now, guys. So if you are interested in any of the gear that I use to stream, right down to like the mouse that I use to play video games, or this microphone right here, or my Go XLR, my Stream Deck, all that fun stuff, even the keycaps on my keyboard, which, by the way, flashy. I mean, come on now. But if you're interested in any of those things, the Amazon affiliate links are down below. Even the things that I put on my tripod to hold my phone up and stuff like that. Go check those out. They support the channel. It's a way to support this channel before we're monetized. Because right now, believe it or not, I do not get paid by YouTube. Most of you will probably believe that. But I don't get paid by YouTube just yet. So if you want to support this channel, you can either hit the tip link down below, or you can check out those the gear that I use and pick up some of this great stuff for yourself, because I am nothing if not a shill for corporations, I guess. Please pay me. Please pay me, Amazon. But yeah, no, that is just one other announcement. We just got those the other day. They're going to be in every single one of the videos that I make going forward. So if at any point you find yourself looking for some new gear, if it's available on Amazon, there will be a link for it down below. I get questions all the time about like the microphone that I use or the headphones that I use. And if the exact stuff I use right now in front of you isn't what isn't available on Amazon, I put comparable stuff that I either own as backup or would own if I wasn't using this stuff. So, you know, little recommendations from someone who's an audiophile, who does audio professionally, and who knows how to sort of produce things here and there. So, yeah, just, you know, something to keep in the back of your mind down the road. And at the 5-minute mark before we get started, I'm going to take a short break here because I've been talking for an hour and 15 minutes, almost nonstop, and I need some water because I have run out. So I'm going to go hydrate very quickly. I will be right back. Stick around. We got more fun coming up. And we're back. Told you that break was going to be short. What's up, Jack? Welcome to the stream. We are commentating the Overwatch League Grand Finals tonight. Welcome, welcome. And it's going to be a fun night. I've been looking forward to this stream all week. And I'm dead serious about that. I've been looking forward to the stream all week because as much as I enjoy playing video games on stream, sometimes I like to kick back and just, I mean, I'm not really chilling right now, if we're being honest. I am working because I will be analyzing this game in real time. So that's in and of itself a little bit of a different take and a little bit of a different approach for this channel. But who knows? You guys might find yourselves in a video once I get a chance to edit down all of this footage. So say hi, YouTube, even though you're already here. That's the thing. That is the one difference between like streaming on Twitch and streaming on YouTube, is like you can't really say hi, YouTube, because, well, you're already here. So that being said, anybody just joining us because I just came back from a break, please hit that like button because it really helps the channel, or it really helps the channel. It helps people find us while we're live. And honestly, having a lot of people in chat, having a lot of people in this community is what it's all about. We are building a community here, and I appreciate all of y'all for being here right now as it is, because you could be watching pro commentators who get paid to do this, but instead you're here watching little old me trying to grow a channel. I am pulling myself up by my bootstraps and starting a YouTube channel. Eating a banana. Right on. Get that potassium. You get that potassium. Good for you. YouTube, I barely know her. Anyway, welcome one and all, everyone that's watching us right now. We're gonna have a good time tonight. I'm really looking forward to this. Like I said, I've been looking forward to this stream all week. I really have. I've been very excited to do this because I've always wanted to like commentate on something, and my friends and I do it in the background all the time, like off stream. We like are constantly commentating on like esports stuff, like in our own time, and like I've been meaning to record it. So that's why today, like, we're just gonna do we're gonna do the live stream thing. We're gonna get it out there for the public to see, and hopefully maybe something will come of it. We never know. You never know. That's the fun of YouTube, right? Everything you put out there is a lottery ticket, and it could blow up and be awesome. So we're gonna have fun tonight. And with that said, we have 1 minute until this game coverage actually starts. This concert on the other end is almost done. I'm gonna flip it right over to my live react scene so that we can see it together when it goes live. We're gonna have some fun. You're a banana. I am a banana. That reminds me of that like old YouTube video from like early YouTube, like back in the early 2000s. the Family Learning Channel. If anybody here is old enough to have seen that. Or I might have just dated myself because I'm 28. And that was early 2000s too. That was like 2000 good lord, that had to be like 2005, 2006. Well, YouTube was a 2005, so that had to be like 2007 or 8. Ages and ages and ages ago. The good times. Times were simpler back then. YouTube monetization actually meant something. Back in the day when you got that YouTube money, they just spent money hand over fist if you made good content. Now everybody's a creator. These streets are difficult. Good times. All right, it is now officially 9 o'clock. Get this guy off the stage. I don't know who he is. Get him off the stage. Let's see what is going on. Is he waving goodbye? What are you doing? What are you doing, Chief? Come on. I've also got the sound limited on that because legal things. Anyway, here we go. Let's get it.
It's an entire journey to get to the peak.
An entire journey to get to the top. 2008, you were 3 years old. My goodness. Make me feel old already. Make me feel old.
But now, there's one last step to get
I don't even know how old I was in 2008. I guess technically I would have been 15.
You'll have to come and get it.
Couldn't even drive yet. Well, that's not entirely true, but you've got to be joking. Okay, real talk, low key. This is not going to mean anything probably to you guys, but I really hope Mitch Leslie is one of the other people calling this match because I enjoy his Australian enthusiasm so much, and some of his comments are off the chain. So outside of this, I hope y'all can indulge in his entertainment as well while we do this. Grand Finals 2021. In 2008, you were not alive. Good lord.
27 matches into our 4th season. It now falls to us to crown our 2021 Overwatch League.
And it is Mitch Leslie. Let's go. Let's go. All right.
Namesakes as mythical as their path through this grueling season now face one more time to find out who will be taking the trophy. It'll be the Atlanta Reign and the Shanghai Dragons. And I'm Mitch Leslie here, joined with Matt Morello. Our honor to preside over this final match of the year.
Yeah, it's already been a packed day already before we even got to the match. And
What is that jacket? That jacket is that jacket screams drip.
This time I saw him.
Down to 305, you know what I mean? It's all a bit hazy there.
Let's get it.
He's always good, but this match I think is really going to deliver.
They should be giving us our starting lineups here. I think that's not going to be anything we haven't already seen from both teams. I would, mostly because their rosters aren't particularly large. These are two teams that do not have an overly large series of backups like some of the other teams in the league in terms of, basically because of their funding. They're not as well funded as teams like the Shock or the Dallas Fuel. And so they have to, I would like to say that they have to make do with what they've got, but both teams do have some heavy hitters on their squads, and that, in and of itself, is worth recognizing. Yes, and it is worth noting that the Shanghai Dragons are one of the worst sporting franchises in history. And they've come so far from their early beginnings of the Overwatch League when they were like 24 or something. It was insane. They did not win a game their first season.
Started out early on. They were not the best
They were not the best. Is such an understatement. It's not even funny. But they have come a long way. They really built the team from the ground up the second year, and they've built back quite extensively, and it's incredible how far they've come. Atlanta's sort of a similar story. They were very underwhelming over the past couple of years. They did make it into the playoffs for the past 2 years, which is something, but they have been knocked out every time. They had something to prove this year. That guy was hyped to wear that jacket. All right, Mitch Leslie. This man is a gem. He's an international treasure and must be protected at all costs. His commentary is phenomenal, and I can only aspire to be him.
And you look at Shanghai's roster, and you're just like, well, how can they lose? Right?
You look at Shanghai's roster, and you're like, how can they lose? I will tell you the one way that they can actually lose, and that is if Atlanta shows up in full force like they did yesterday against the Dallas Fuel. Can you buy Overwatch in Steam? No, you can't. You can only buy it through Blizzard. It is its own standalone. It's one of the few games available right now that is standalone. Be right back. We'll be right here. But yeah, you can buy it through Blizzard. It's probably discounted right now, at least a little bit.
He is like top tier at. Like he is one of the best in the world. Like just on raw aim and mechanical skill.
Rookie of the Year, Pelican and Rain go 4-0, run to rise from losers bracket. That's a really crazy headline they got there, because yes, Pelican is the rookie this year, and he is Rookie of the Year. Welcome back, Jack. He is the Rookie of the Year, and he has been an insane factor in Atlanta's progress this year. Without Pelican, he needs room to breathe. If he has room, he is going to frag out. And I mean that. Like, this guy is insane. I am not sure, however, that he can stand up necessarily to Shanghai's DPS line. I personally think Lip and Fleta might be a little bit too much for him, but we'll find out, because I think Fleta might actually be the better Tracer in that matchup, and I'm sure we're going to see a Tracer duel tonight.
That's out there. The other team on the other side of the stage, right here, on the other side.
What is going on in the game? For anyone that's watching this that doesn't understand or has never played Overwatch, doesn't know exactly how the game is formatted, we have a 6v6 team-based first-person shooter. It is essentially it's a sporting event, basically. You have 2 support roles that deal with mostly healing and buffing and debuffing your allies and opponents. You have 2 DPS roles who are primarily there to do damage, and 2 tank roles that are there to absorb damage and basically facilitate and empower or enable the other players on the team. It is a game that is very nuanced. I will try to capture that as best I can and break it down as we go forward, to make it, because if you haven't played this game and you haven't grinded this game, it can be a little bit overwhelming at first, but I will try to simplify it in my commentary. Played Team Fortress 2. Yeah, it's very, very simple. It's very, very similar to Team Fortress. A lot of professional Team Fortress players moved over to Overwatch and were among some of the first pros in the league when it started back in like 2017, I want to say. All you saw is pew pew. You'll see more than that right now. You'll see more than that right now. The Engineer Gaming. Yeah. I think well, you're going to see the biggest difference right now. I think the big playmakers today, the make or break players today for Atlanta are going to be Gator, Hawk, Pelican, and Masa. If Pelican has room to frag, he's going to frag. If Gator doesn't feed and actually manages to stay alive, if he can hold his position strong, you're going to see him enabling a lot of his team. Masa is another one where if he can facilitate and enable his tanks, you're going to see a lot more power from their rush capabilities, and you're going to see a little bit more adaptability as they go against Shanghai. And that's really going to be the determining factor. If they can be adaptive and respond to what Shanghai is going to bring to the table, they could win this. I can't count them out yet.
Shanghai
So, and for those of you just joining us who don't know this already, I am wearing red because I'm low-key supporting Atlanta, though I think Shanghai is going to win. And if Shanghai wins, the red is going to be for Shanghai. Because despite this game hopefully being a great game to watch, I am a San Francisco fan, and they got knocked out yesterday, and I'm sad. So
they look unbeatable. It seems like they download their opponents and just an absolute juggernaut of a team. Shanghai
has come up a long way this season, because when they started this year, I was very unconvinced by their play style, and they were not something really that they were not a team that I thought were going to make it this far, honestly. I had them out second or third round in the bracket that I had, and they have surprised me every step of the way, because their composition this time around, the meta in the current state of the game is, it really suits them. And they have found a way to be very disruptive and very, very effective and very clean at the playstyle that they have. The players you're going to need to watch today are going to be Izayaki, Fleta, Lip, and Fate. If Fate can really hammer the Wrecking Ball comp home, he's going to be a massive pain in the butt for Atlanta today. Fleta and Lip are insane DPS players. The common phrase Fleta is meta. This guy is a nutcase. He's just built different. We're going to see fireworks from him today if they want to win this. And Izayaki, his Zenyatta is going to probably make or break the success of the comp. Almost 100% of the way.
Both the Atlanta Reign and the Shanghai Dragons have actually been using one another as scrim partners in the recent days.
Oh.
They've been practicing specifically against
So these teams have been scrimming together and practicing together for the past week. So that's a very interesting change of events. We have Ilios as the first map, a King of the Hill map that has a lot of environmental risk to it. It should be... And it was Shanghai's pick. So this is going to be one that's going to really favor their Wrecking Ball comp. They're probably going to be forcing dive out of Atlanta, I would suspect, because I don't think Rush is going to be overly effective here against anything that Shanghai brings to the table. If Atlanta tries to show up with Rush in this first map, I suspect they'll lose. Oh, wait a second. Okay, so it's starting on Ruins. Rush is far more effective here, but I still think that Shanghai is going to force the dive out of them. For those of you that don't know, dive comp is a very aggressive comp that involves the main tanks, mobility-based main tanks, diving on top of squishier targets in the enemy backline. So it looks like Shanghai is going to come out swinging with the Wrecking Ball comp, and it looks like Atlanta is going to be moving for a more aggressive rush comp. So I guess we're going to see how it fares.
Teams that would go to like a Reaper right against something like this. Atlanta was a team that would play the Torb.
And they're using a Torb, which is a very interesting choice. Torb and... Oh, they went for the early teleport to get them on... to get early position.
Wrecking Ball, of course, is going to be in play. The Atlanta Reign want to play a comp that's hostile to any sort of...
Fate already going for some disruption. He's been stunned, but he's... Oh no. Oh no. There we go. The first pick's going to the Atlanta Reign, but Lip responding and pulling Hawk out of the picture.
Whether it's a Sombra or whether an Echo in the sky tracking these players down.
Point is going to favor Atlanta to start the match.
Don't let him translocate, get out, get right in his face and bother him. I think that's going to be something key to look at.
Atlanta believe that their approach here, this anti-dive...
I like this Torb pick because it's really going to deter the Wrecking Ball to some degree, because there's always going to be some sort of backline pressure. Lip has moved over to the Tracer and is just going to town. This is going to be a fight win for Shanghai. And it's this kind of Tracer play that really makes Fleta insane. He's gonna be a massive problem for Atlanta going forward.
Overextension, right? Just spreads Atlanta out a little bit too thin, and that's where the flankers of Tracer and Sombra can come up clutch.
Realistically, I would expect Atlanta to swap over to Sombra at some point, because they're going to need something to counter that Wrecking Ball a little bit more effectively. The disruption that Fate brings with Wrecking Ball is not to be scoffed at here. That is an incredible stick from Fleta taking out Kai. and destroying Pelican's turret. Gator running a little bit low here, but he's brought back to full health. And Iris goes down. Shanghai has really committed ultimates to this fight, but they're going to hold on to the point. What we're going to be looking for probably here from Atlanta is going to be an aggressive sound barrier to start the fight. From what you've seen, Sombra is your favorite. Yeah, Sombra is such a great hero. It's very effective in the backline, and right now is really... Massa is taken out before he can use the sound barrier. Fate goes down, Void takes out the immortality field, and Pelican is forced and this is going to be another solid fight win from Shanghai. This is very clean gameplay. They are not yielding to Atlanta right now. They're going to have to pull off of this dive comp, or not this dive comp. They're going to have to pull off of this rush comp if they really want to see success here, because this is not pulling for them.
For an extended period of time, as Atlanta has had a difficulty closing the gap with this composition.
All right, we're now looking for a shatter from Hawk. Not Hawk, from, my God. From Gator. And it catches nobody. They lose Hawk and Pelican's turret once again. Lee Jae-gong goes down to the Torbjorn, and there's a C9. There's nobody there to touch. That is a mistake on Atlanta's part. They kept the fight too much in the corridors and forgot to touch point. Shanghai takes map 1 pretty handily. All right, so we have Lighthouse. This is going to be another one that favors actually, this entire map favors the Wrecking Ball. I would expect to see, oh my goodness, they are going to go for a mirror comp here. They are going to go for a mirror comp with the Wrecking Ball, and this is going to be make or break for Atlanta. We're going to see, first and foremost, if they can maintain their play style trying to mirror Shanghai's. Her weapons seem not very effective, though. Her weapon isn't there to get frags. Her weapon is there to charge her ultimate, which is ultimately the fight winner. 9 times out of 10. Let's see, both healers for Atlanta getting low. Izayaki falls early to Pelican. And they trade for Hawk, which is probably, and Kai goes down shortly after. This is all falling apart very, very quickly for Atlanta. Gator's Wrecking Ball is just not nearly as disruptive as Fate's. It just isn't. Gator at full health again, and so is Atlanta, back to full strength with all 6 players back in. Lip is falling a little bit in half, but he is going to take out... Oh, he almost takes out Fate, or Gator. God, I cannot keep them straight right now. That's not great if I'm going to try to commentate, is it? Hawk overextending a little bit. His mech gets low. He loses his mech, and he's going to fall to this. He's going to fall to Void, most likely. Yep, he falls to Void. And Iris goes down as well. Izayaki falls to Gator, but Gator is in trouble here. And Shanghai holds on to the point. And Kai goes down, caught out on the flank. That's not good for them. He's going to be staggered coming back to the fight. Gator trying to re-engage this is a little ballsy, but at this point, they have to find a way to get in there. Gator needs to find the way to be as disruptive as Fate has been so far. Pelican looking for a really big EMP here. This could be fight winning if he does this, if he times this right and it connects well enough. And he gets one. He only gets Void here. That's not going to be enough for them. Mines go out on point for Atlanta. And Fate goes over the edge and he can't come back up. Kai goes down to Lip. Void and Izayaki fall as well. And this should be a clean fight win for Atlanta. Fleta goes down, but Lip takes out Maza. And Lee Jae-gong is still falls to Kai. Okay, so this should be, yes, the point flips to Atlanta. And Kai goes down. Oh no, Kai takes out Lip. He wins the Tracer duel. Lip overextended there quite a bit, and I I think that was a bit of an ego play on his part, if I'm being completely honest. With the fight lost, he should have returned. Now he's going to be staggered. They waste a little bit of time. Another Tracer duel between Kai and Fleta. Ooh, close call for Kai against Izayaki. Shanghai doesn't make it back quite in time to flip the point. And Kai goes down. Transcendence goes out on point for Izayaki. More mines, actually, from Atlanta. And Gator falls. Hawk loses his mech. This should be a fight win, I think, for Shanghai. Pretty cleanly at that. My goodness. Void and Izayaki just cleaning house. We're in one fight territory here for this map. Oh, and mines go out on point for Shanghai. Masa's already down. And Tracer falls to the mines. Kai goes right into it. And this is just gonna be cleanup. This is almost certainly going to be map 1 going to Shanghai. Is it? Oh my goodness. And just a good measure EMP out from Lip to clean things up. I don't think they can get another touch. First map goes to Shanghai. And they come out swinging. Looking fairly dominant on both maps, honestly. Once they got control, they did not give it up. And the thing is, they picked the first map, so they're gonna look strong because they're very confident in this map choice. Next map choice will go to the Atlanta Reign. I would guess almost certainly we're going to see Volskaya Industries from them. I think that's where they've looked the strongest over the past couple of days. Most likely, that seems to be where everybody likes to play the 2 CP matches. They could throw us a curveball and send us to Anubis, but I'm guessing more than likely we're going to see Volskaya because of the 2 maps, it's going to be far harder for the Dragons to play that ball comp on Volskaya. You'll much more likely force a dive comp out of the Dragons if you can get them on Volskaya. So that would be my guess for their pick. If I was the Atlanta coach, that's what I would be going for right now. But a very, very strong statement from Shanghai coming out of the gate. Like I said, I don't see a scenario in which Atlanta actually wins this, but, it's the playoffs. Anything can happen. So we're going to turn the music up while we wait for coverage to resume, and we're going to go back to chatting. But this is exactly what I was talking about before the game started. These compositional differences between Atlanta and Shanghai are really going to be highlighted, and it's honestly to Atlanta's weaknesses. Looks very cool, very tired. Joining every stream from now on. Much appreciated. Thank you for being here. I really, honestly, like, anybody watching me try and talk about this stuff, I appreciate that. So, have a good night. Get some sleep. And cheers, my friend. Going forward, yes, I think the compositional differences are going to really be highlighted here. What's going to happen from here on out is the map choices. Any time that Atlanta has the map choice, they're really going to have to pick intelligently to sort of force Shanghai off this Wrecking Ball composition. Because the longer they stay on the Wrecking Ball composition, the more it's really going to impact, the more it's really going to disrupt the playstyle that Atlanta likes to play. And right there, like, the Ilios is such a strong map for their composition. Like, they were almost guaranteed to win it, but there wasn't enough counterplay from Atlanta, and we're going to need to see more of that as well. We're going to need to see some Sombra play that's a lot stronger than what Pelican brought to the table. That being said, Kai did a fair job of challenging Fleta in the Tracer duel, and to be honest, I think that at this point, it's not enough to sway the tides, but he performed better than I was expecting him to. So we're gonna have to see going forward what happens. As always, if you're since it's after map 1 and we have a chance right now, if you're just joining us, please leave the video a like, and if you're not subscribed to this channel, what are you doing here? Subscribe to the channel. I have videos out every week, every Wednesday now, starting every Wednesday now. We're doing a consistent schedule, and yeah, welcome. We're having a good time. I'm going to use this opportunity this last minute to get more water. So I'm going to take a very, very short break, and I will be right back for map 2.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by the University of
All right.
Manoa. Go to takemetomanoa.
While they give their sponsorship some time, we're back. We're back. University of Hawaii. I don't need to show for the University of Hawaii. They don't pay me to do this. So I'm gonna go back to my chatting screen while they do their sponsorships, and then we'll go back to coverage. But yes, I think honestly that was about as good as we could have expected from Atlanta on the first map. I think they're really testing the waters against this composition. Yes, they've been scrimming for the past couple of days, but we don't know the outcomes of those scrims. And I stand by what I said, where anytime that the Wrecking Ball comp has the advantage on the map, they're going to take the map, I think. And that's really going to affect them going forward. So we're back to coverage. Live React is up. And let's see what the next map is. I am calling Volskaya Industries. I think that is the smart pick. Well, not read like a book this time. That's a choice. I don't know if I would go Hanamura here, especially if you're trying to force a comp out of Shanghai. I don't know what the choice with this is. Atlanta was on the receiving end of one of the fastest capture times. Gladiators versus Atlanta. Actually, I think that was just the other day. Honestly, I think that was just the other day that they got that record, which is pretty nuts. So it's a very interesting choice from Atlanta, but we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Raise the volume here for the commentary, and let's see what's going on in Hanamura.
There's no way Shanghai would choose this map. No, I think if you ask Atlanta, they'd rather have the one map in their pocket than rather choose this one. But
I think this is a weird pick for Atlanta. I think this is a very weird pick for Atlanta. I think they should have gone with Volskaya. But we'll see. It looks like Shanghai is going to be defending first, and we're actually going to see them off of the Wrecking Ball comp. We're going to see them with a more stationary Sigma Orisa comp, which is going to be strong, but Fleta is showing up on the Pharah, and we are going to see some hit scan from Lip. And yeah, the classic double shield comp. Fleta's Pharah has been insane over the course of the playoffs, so I'm very curious to see how he performs today. They're pushing particularly far forward here. This is interesting. With Ana hiding... They're going for an early fight engage. Going against a rush comp? This is risky. This is weird. Hold on a second. They're so far forward. They know they're... What the... Pelican's down already. They get the first pick on Pelican with a surprise attack, and that's going to force... That's going to force the change from Gator over to the Wrecking Ball. Pelican moves over. Pelican moves over to the Echo, and this is going to be a very interesting map. They're moving away from the rush comp entirely. And they're going to try and force the... Yeah, this... Actually, I like this pick. I like this pick a lot, but Gator's going to have to not feed like that if they're going to want this to succeed. This is going to be a very easy fight cleanup for Shanghai to start. It should be a very easy fight win, and they're going to go... Echo Mercy. No, don't go for the res there. That is so bold, and it's just going to be feeding. It is just lunch is served, and Shanghai's eaten. Rez out for Lip on the hit scan. This is a strange series of choices. And Ball is asleep in the backline. Gator, what are you doing? Lunch is served and he's dead again. And that is gonna be Atlanta's push. They can't push off of that. They can't go 5v6 here. This is another very strong start for Shanghai. So now we now have some support changes. Iris going over to the Baptiste. Massa still on Mercy. And the ult economy just isn't there. You have Shanghai's ultimates coming online right now, and all you have are Massa's Valkyrie and Pelican's copy. Oh, and you're gonna have both support ults. But a wall is not really gonna do much. It might break through the first line, but if they can't handle Fleda's Pharah, he's just gonna come and drop rockets on them. They could very easily cycle ultimates here, and you might not see even 0.1 capture from Atlanta. Lip goes down early. That's Lip's Bob, never mind. And just ranged poke damage coming out from Fleta. He's got his ultimate and he's gonna start looking for it. And he solo ults the, oh my goodness, that's gonna be Pelican taken out. And Hawk as well. Both supports are now in trouble. Kai goes down. And it's gonna be an aggressive push from the Shanghai Dragons. Oh my goodness. They're up in their face now. They're right at the spawn door. They are spawn camping them, and they are making a statement that they are the dominant team here. They back up, play a little bit more conservatively, but they still have the double shield, and you have Atlanta responding to a double shield of their own, starting to finally have some ultimates coming online. You're gonna have Bob from Kai. You have Pelican's copy already. Gator will have a bongo ready up in a second. There goes the copy. He's asleep. And he's struggling to build the supercharger while in this ultimate, but they're taking point one. With 25 seconds to go, almost to one tick. Almost to one tick. They get one tick with less than 20 seconds to go. Everyone is off point currently. They're back on capturing. This is a fight cleanup. They should have point one here, but with not a lot of time in the bank. It's very likely that Fate is going to have a recontest here. They might get a full re-engage. Fleta's already taken out. That's a great play by Pelican. But if they can't handle this ball, this should still be fight. This should be still point one, yes, and that is going to be the capture with no time left and 3 minutes on the clock for Atlanta. They're going to go for high ground on the right side, which is pretty classic at this point, but they have invested so many ultimates to take that point, and here you're going to have Bob and Nano and Valk and Sigma ult all online for Shanghai Dragons. They basically have a free fight when missed opportunity with the dynamite there, but oh my goodness, the lip damage is just insane. Damage boosted Echo and some Battle Mercy play coming from Li Jigang. Kai looking very out of position there in that hallway with the rest of his team off to the side. But now they're split. And this is going to be... They're taking out Void and Fleta. They might have a very easy chance to get at least one tick on the point. That's one. Halfway to two. And they pull a second tick, and no one's still on point for Shanghai. But they're getting an easy fight cleanup here, and they're now stuck in the choke. But with a supercharger out, they might actually get a chance. Bob on point to at least contest for right now. Bob making some moves here. Bob is taken out, and they're on point again. Li Jigang and Fleta go down. Massa looking low. And this is a nice cleanup, and they're going to take point two. After a very rocky start, they managed to take point two with a minute and a half nearly in the time bank. So this is still very winnable for Atlanta. I would be curious to see how quickly Shanghai rolls over them if they do. If Shanghai comes out swinging, this could be a very interesting match we have ahead of us. This is one of those moments where I think Atlanta needs to stop trying to immediately contest with mirror comp. I think they need to start settling into their comfort picks, because even though the comfort picks are at a disadvantage to Shanghai's comp, the comfort picks are still strong enough on Atlanta that they can counter them. And Shanghai's been forced onto a dive comp. We're gonna see Fate playing Monkey, which is a nice new look that we haven't seen in a minute. Fleta on the Genji, at least for right now. Atlanta Reign coming out with a Torbjorn double shield comp. And that I actually can get behind. Torbjorn is very strong on this first point, and you don't see him very often in the pro leagues, but he should at least deter the Genji. At the very least. I don't know how these guys do it without like constantly sipping water, but I guess they're not always on screen, so I don't know if they're sipping water or not. This was excellent play by the Atlanta Reign. This was a very, very good coordinated push. Once they got it, and oh, this is all replay. My goodness, my brain like completely faded for a second. I wasn't sure what was going on. All right, so we're not seeing the exact same type of engagement as we did the first map, but Fate has already moved over to the ball, so we're going to see some disruption here anytime now. I suspect we'll see him swinging, yep, right about now, and he's going to go around and probably contest point to force them out of the choke point. And there he is. He's right there contesting point. They have to turn around and deal with him. With Ball here, the reason he's so strong in this current meta is because he's self-sufficient. It's this combination of the Ball, the Tracer, and actually the Zenyatta that make this composition so powerful right now, because they're all relatively self-sufficient heroes. Fate looking low, he might fall here, but he gets away and gets a health pack from the looks of things. Kai's turret falls. Void taken out by Pelican, and this should be a fight win for Atlanta. Lip looking low. And Lee Jae-gon just burnt down by that beam. It's a very good, clean first fight win for Atlanta, but they gave up 2 ticks to get there. So, with 2.5 minutes in the time bank, there's still a lot of time for Shanghai to come back. Tracer making presence on the point to force them in and off of the choke areas. Going on the flank, he just used a pulse bomb but got nothing from it. Gator out of position and is taken out by Fate. Kai's turret goes down, and a huge EMP that connects on 3. And that's going to be a clean up, mostly now for Shanghai. This will be point 1 pretty handily. And there he goes. Iris goes down, and that is going to be point 1 with probably 4.5 minutes on the time bank. Yes, 4:55, almost 5 full minutes in the time bank for Shanghai. Very, very strong start. They did not waste any time. They lost their first fight, and they still have a pretty good ult cycle going on too. With both support ults up and Void's bomb almost online, Fleta's going to have another pulse bomb ready. Supercharger and Flux ready for the Reign. With no EMP to respond, I really don't see Pelican's counter here with Echo as a good choice. I think they really need to be forcing a Sombra on them at this point. There's just so much. Wow, this is going to be a very good fight win for Atlanta, but at the cost of a fair amount of ults for the Dragons, honestly. Lip will have an EMP going into the next fight, and they have both support ults gone. Izayaki switching over to the Baptiste. Fleta moving over to the McCree. And it looks like they're gonna go for a quasi rush. No, they're back over to they're moving back over to a more stationary double shield. Okay. The Torbjorn pick here is very, very strong for Kai, though, because he's able to play some stranger angles. Lip in the background looking for a big EMP here. Is he going to connect? Iris with wall ready and Pelican with copy, but Massa's going to have Rally online soon. That is an EMP, gets 3. Connects to 3. Gator goes down. Hawk running low. Massa falls. Pelican's copy is up, and Iris goes down as well. And now Shanghai takes position on point with 1 tick. Gator is back already. Fleta falls. Pelican is traded with Lip. Gator is down. Oh no, Gator is low, takes out Lee Jae Gon. Gator falls to Void. And this Torb is putting in work. He's going to take out Void, and they are going to hold on to point 2 still. Very, very successful defense. That was very sketchy on for the Rain, almost falling on second point. And no real meaningful... Gator's already built a shatter. Kai halfway to Torb ult, but no support ults online. Lee Jae Gon is going to be coming in with a rally. Lip is going to have another EMP already. And Fleta is going to have a high noon, so look for a high noon EMP combo here. Pelican is swapped to Mei, and that's going to be a very strong counter in... Kai falls to Izzyaki! And the shatter gets interrupted. That is a wasted shatter. Iris falls. Gator falls. This might be it for... Oh, but the bomb catches Lip! Massa falls. And Kai is swapped over to the Widow? And they C9. No one's there to touch. Very close in a time bank, though. So they managed to keep it within 9 seconds.
Pretty comparable times for both teams here. I think when you look at it, like, get off to a better start on their offense.
And this is 2 CP for you. A constant back and forth. It's probably the highest form of the game being played right now. Is coordinated 2 CP.
Atlanta got a little bit frazzled by the looks of things on their first attempt at attacking, right? Lose a couple players. The Shanghai Dragons were more...
Now the question is, will Shanghai pull as aggressively? Atlanta will get the first attack here. But will Shanghai pull as aggressively on their defense as they did on the first point? They're running a similar composition. They're running exactly the same composition as they ran on first point originally. And Atlanta Reign are setting up for a rush comp again. This is basically a mirror of what we saw earlier on. So I'm curious to see if Atlanta pushes, or if Shanghai pushes up as far as they did on the first point. And then I believe after this map, we're going to get the halftime play of the 5v5 Pro Exhibition for Overwatch 2. Okay, they did not go up nearly as far this time, but they are going full rush here with Atlanta. And they're looking for a TP in the back line. They're going to all take it, and they're going to be behind Shanghai. But there is a huge biotic grenade that's going to completely... Oh my goodness, everybody's low. Everyone's low. There's not enough healing to counter that damage. And this is going to be their first push completely wiped. And they're already back down into almost fight 1 territory. And they're staggering. It's going to be a slow kill. And Fleta's going to have a barrage ready after all of that damage he just put in. Iris with a wall, but that's about it for Atlanta. Izzyaki is going to have... Oh my goodness, Izzyaki is going to have Nano, and Lee Jae Gon is looking very, very close to a Valk. Going into the final fight territory with 30 seconds left for Atlanta to at least get a tick. And they're looking for that teleporter, but I just don't know if they're going to be able to do it. Because Shanghai knows what's coming. And they forced them out of position, and they're going to probably get the first pick here. Kai falls already. And... Oh, and Gator is looking low. Gator takes the TP, but Iris falls now. And Gator's on point, and he's going to fall. And that's just going to be cleanup. It is just all falling apart for the Atlanta Reign. They do not get even 1 tick on their offense here. The best that they can hope for right now is a tie on this map. So their defense has to be just as strong. They're gonna need to counter. They're not gonna be able to let they're not gonna be able to let Fleta or Fate get into the backline and even secure a tick here, because that's gonna be very easy for them to do. Remember, on their first attempt, the Dragons walked away with 2 ticks.
Atlanta kind of almost has to play something here that's like pretty
Atlanta's going to have to think outside the box. That's really where they thrive in these situations, is when they start to pull out something like a random bastion, where the enemy team doesn't know how to deal with it. It's a high risk, high reward situation, but they have nothing to lose at this point. The best that they can hope for is a tie and drag this on to a fifth map scenario, but they're not going to get there if they can't tie this game. And it looks like they're going to hold the original double shield Torbjorn comp that they started out with, and it was effective, but again, they can't let Fate or Fleta get into their backline before and get a tick before the fight has gone past the poke phase.
This is a very robust defensive setup with the Torbjorn mixed in as well, but all the Dragons need to do is find an opening, use their displacement potential.
All right, let's see what the Dragons are rolling out with. What? They're going with a rush comp. This is almost like, this is a little bit of BM going out with the exact same rush comp that Atlanta just tried to pull off. This is like, anything you can do, we can do better. This is like, oh my goodness, and they're just rolling over them. This is almost certainly going to be .1 in no time flat. Atlanta collapses, Massa goes down. This is gonna be another full win for the Dragons. The Dragons picking up map 2 and putting it on match point already before the game has even really gotten started. That is a very right now Atlanta has to pull off what would be the greatest comeback in Overwatch League history with a reverse sweep, meaning they have to win the next 3 maps in a row to even, that's it. They lose 1 map, and they're done. And that's it. It is match point for the Shanghai Dragons, and I think right now we're going to be turning it over to the Overwatch League exhibition for Overwatch League 2, where it's 5v5 gameplay by the pros. My goodness, this has been a statement from the Dragons. They want it this year. They want it this year. They are looking to solidify themselves as the best.
To bigger and better things, stick around for map number 3 on the other side of the break. It's the Dragons with a 2-0 lead.
Wow. All I have to say is wow. All right, I'm going to see what the coverage is looking like here, and then I will take a very short pause myself. We're looking for coverage to return in 3.5 minutes. I believe that is going to be the Overwatch League 5v5 exhibition, I think. I could be wrong about that, but this should be their halftime presentation after the break, and we will talk about that as well. In the meantime, I'm going to take a short break myself to get more water and bio very quickly, because commentating like this is rather difficult. I was not prepared for that. Those of you that are joining me for this, thank you so very, very much. That means the world to me. I think it's really cool that I'm having anybody watch this right now at all is super cool to me. I appreciate all of you. If you haven't done so already, please do me a favor and leave the video a like. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't done that as well, though. If you're here, I assume you're already subscribed because you're getting the notifications that I'm live. Also, if you haven't done it, hit the notification bell. I've been finding out from people that subscribe to me that they're not getting notified when my stuff goes live, and that is a really big part of it. So if you like my content and you want more of it, make sure you hit that notification bell so that you can find it when it goes live. Check out the Amazon affiliate links down below. I will be right back in about 2 minutes. All right, we are back with 3 seconds to spare on the clock. Not bad. We are back. All right. Let's see, what do we got here? Overwatch halftime. Overwatch League Pros. Overwatch 2 Exhibition. Let's see what we got here. Move my scenes over. So this is already admittedly going fairly as expected for this grand finals. Like I said, Atlanta was going to have a lot of problems handling what Shanghai brought to the table. Shanghai has just looked that strong up to this point, and I am a little bit surprised to see Atlanta struggling this much with it, but it is not out of the realm of possibility. But I can't count them out yet. There's still at least one more map to go, and if they can bring it back on another map of their choice, I would suspect maybe King's Row, but even that'll be a risky play if they're going to keep playing against this ball composition. I would be hard-pressed to say maybe... I don't know. It's hard for me to say. I would say maybe Numbani would be a good choice here to go for if you're Atlanta, looking as someone trying to get rid of and force another comp. And they're going King's Row. They're going King's Row up next. Which is a choice. I don't know. I think, again, if you're in Atlanta's shoes right now, what you really want to be doing is forcing Shanghai off of their ball comp, because that has been one of the biggest nails in the coffin for Atlanta. But as we saw at the end of the last map, like, Shanghai is just out for blood. They went full rush comp and said, hey, this is your comp and we're going to beat you at it too. And that's a little bit crazy. And are we just going in? Is there just no halftime? My goodness. Anyway, we're in.
Shanghai decides to take it, although I probably think they would go to something like a Havana, maybe something.
See, again, they're talking about this where, like, what you might choose after this should Atlanta move forward.
You win that first map, we're square even, right? So this map is really important.
So we'll see. Atlanta has a fairly decent record on this map. They also have had a couple of crushing blows taken on this map. We'll see what happens. They're coming out swinging again with a full rush comp.
It's dangerous to take any team to this map, and the Shanghai Dragons have an answer for everything, let alone the most.
And Shanghai is not going to be playing the ball comp. That looks like they're going to be going straight dive with Fleta again on the Pharah. And Lip, ooh, Lip on a Widowmaker. This could be some fireworks ready to happen. I'm actually very excited to see that if that's what they're doing.
And Shanghai will have some options out of this, right? Winston Sigma.
Winston Sigma is a choice, though. That's Izzyaki. Yep, there we go. Lip is moving over.
Izzyaki here on the
and nope. Okay, we're just gonna see Wrecking Ball, and they're gonna do a really quick TP and swap over to Widow.
This is quite greedy.
This is interesting.
We'll see what Lip decides to do. Okay, so
the swaps on this though.
With the Sigma, right? Sigma, Ashe, Zen, Bap. It'll be hard.
Atlanta playing pretty slow here, offering up point positioning early. Shanghai is a restaurant you go to sometimes. Chinese food?
High damage poke composition. Fate's not taking an engagement right now. But look at Kai, man.
I could go for some, honestly, I could go for some orange chicken right now.
And Fate has to roll away.
Yeah, I mean,
Lip already taken out.
Right? Because Lip is a ton of damage at range.
Iris taken out by Izzyaki.
He's gonna take out Iris.
Fate looking low. Fate falls to Hawk. And this is going to be a first fight win, it looks like, for Atlanta. Gator getting low, though. Getting very low. They need to help him.
With no Iris in the equation, and
Gator falls to Lip's dynamite. That's not good for Atlanta. This could already flip back on them. He sat there for so long on 1 health and got no help from his supports. And this is going to flip the point. This is going to be point 1 going to Shanghai. Atlanta's just falling in on themselves right now.
Because when Atlanta sees like the ball and things like that, right? They want to try and rotate through Hotel and come around on some of these.
The thing with this ball comp, there's nobody. There's literally nobody challenging it, and so he's there to just disrupt.
Atlanta can't even access that, right? So they come out of the Hotel and they're walking right into a pile driver with, you know, this
Izayaki is gonna have his Transcendence online. Void is gonna have Flux, and nothing really meaningful up for the Atlanta Reign just yet. Fled has already got a pulse bomb, so this fight could be over before it started if he can get a flank and get that bomb off on the back line. And he's looking for it, and it's stuck, and it takes out Iris's immortality field. Oh, but Massa and Gator immediately fall following it. Pelican takes out Fate, and this is going to be a cleanup for the Shanghai Dragons again. What's up, Frank? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Shanghai is just not. They are taking no prisoners today. Everything is clean. Everything is fast.
And Atlanta's rolled them, right? Taking it to them with these compositions. Shanghai just hitting another level here.
Yeah, we're covering the Overwatch League Grand Finals today. We are covering the Grand Finals today. Pelican looking for his. Oh, but he backs off. He's forced to back off. Mines come out from Fate, and Gator's already fallen down. This is what I was saying earlier. If he continues to feed like this, Shanghai's just going to roll over them. And with 5 minutes on the time bank, it does not look good. And Fled has already built up another pulse bomb. Pelican's still holding on to his. Kai is holding on to High Noon. Massa has potential to engage here with Beat. They've got to get their they have to convert some of these ultimates into picks right now. Gator's got his Shatter online, but Kai's already low. He's swapped over to a Hanzo. To be determined. Depends on when this ends. I may play some tonight depending on when this ends. But the main plan was to cover the Overwatch finals and the Overwatch 2 content tonight and see what happens. And there's nobody on point yet. Gator's still waiting on Shatter. They've already their ult cycling is terrible right now from Atlanta. They're just giving up all of these ultimates and just hanging on to them and not using them. They haven't converted anything yet. And Massa goes down to Lip. Oh my god. Transcendence out from Izayaki. Gator is low. Gator's gonna fall. Hawk's mech comes out and he's gonna just be stuck in this hallway. And this is gonna be a blisteringly fast time for Shanghai, taking point 3. All right, Atlanta's gonna have to respond with a push of their own to even contest this time at this point. But if they fail to capture even 1 point at this time, it is game over for them, and Shanghai will be the champions for 2021.
It's kind of like one fight territory on both sides. This is a speed run though here on King's Row.
But Shanghai is out for blood today. Like, they are not taking prisoners. They've been aggressive the entirety of the playoffs, but this is another level from them that they have not shown to this point.
Most teams already cut their teeth when they first started their journeys in Overwatch. When you form a team, you start playing some practice games, everyone says, hey, let's
I forgot my water.
King's Row first. Let's see what we can cover.
Feels good.
The Dragons, as a unit, have played through so many iterations of metas and map pools. And this one, both teams feel at home with the Atlanta Reign.
I can't even venture a guess as to if these comps that we're seeing right now are what they're going to roll out with. The Shanghai Dragons are set up for their defense, showing up with the very aggressive Tracer Sombra. But I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And this certainly is another level from them tonight. Shatter blocked there. That was just insanely smart plays coming from Shanghai. And now Atlanta's just playing conservative. They're not they're not sure what's going to work, and they're playing a lot less aggressive than they need to be in order to. They have the reason they won against Dallas last night was because they were able to match the aggression, and they're not matching the aggression tonight. They're just getting disrupted every step of the way. Void goes down early to Pelican, however. This is a good first pick. They needed that. Fate is looking low. The health is very strong. Izayaki and takes out. Oh, Izayaki and Lip both fall. Fate is looking low. Fleta goes down. This should be a 0.1. All right, so this is what they need. This is what they need. They're gonna walk away with even more time on the time bank than Shanghai did right out of the gate. Kai falls to Lip, however, and that's gonna be a really not great way to start off second point. But he will have time to return as Shanghai gets set up here for the first push from Atlanta. Fate has moved off of the ball, and we're getting pretty close to what could be considered a mirror matchup from them. Iris falls to Lip. I think Lip's. Oh my goodness! I think Lip's Hanzo is really going to play a massive factor in this second point, because the damage output that he's got is just insane. He's already built up half of his dragons. Kai will be coming in with the dragons of his own. Iris's wall is already ready, and some very important ults for this push are going to be coming online for the Atlanta Reign in a second. Amplification Matrix forces position, but Gator falls immediately. Iris goes down. Dragons out on point from... Oh my goodness, and Hawk trades Fate out, but it's still low with a... Oh no, Masa falls to Lip. Everything is just slightly off the timing wheel for these guys, and they still have some important ultimates coming online for Atlanta, so this is not out of the realm of possibility, but they are wasting serious time here. They're going to need a strong push to even compete right now. Hawk going aggressive with this Sigma play. Grab Flux going out for both Sigmas. And Lee Jae Gung falls to Hawk. Void gets nothing. Void falls. Masa is traded out. Dragons out on point from Lip, but Hawk falls now, and so does Kai. Gator trades out Lip, but they are down both supports, it looks like. Gator looking low. He's getting some help, but is it enough? Is it enough here? Fleta is taken out. And Fate falls, as Izayaki is soon to follow, and they actually have an opening here to capture point 2. Lip takes out Pelican again early. Are they going to go for the recontest here? They are. They are going to go for the recontest with point less than a meter to go on this front. Kai in the backline gets taken out by Lip, and Void is traded out for Iris. Lip takes out Iris. But they walk away with the point anyway. All right, 4 minutes on the time bank, so they still have a chance to pull off a pretty decent time here. Pretty easy cleanup for Shanghai. These backline flanks from Lip are just tearing through the Atlanta Reign right now. And this was always going to be the problem that they faced. The disruption from Fate was only part of the equation. Now you have these backline crazy flanks from both DPS coming from Shanghai. And this is going to be a quick cleanup, it looks like, from the Shanghai Dragons yet again. With Hawk and Gator both falling early. Iris goes down. That is both supports from Atlanta knocked out. And that's going to be another team fight win. Atlanta already about to crest over the time bank that Shanghai set on the first attack. And so now they've really got to pull something out. So they are swapping over to a strange sort of hybrid double shield rush. Kai will have dragons ready, and Hawk, a couple of actually major support ults ready. Dragons go out on point. Blizzard freezing up the rain a little bit. Iris and Masa both fall. This is going to be another cleanup from the Dragons. Oh my good. It's the humanity from Fleta is insane right now. Atlanta is really on the ropes here. They have 2 minutes, 40 seconds remaining to capture this third point. Izayaki falls early. Gravitic Flux and Rally both out on point. Gravitic Flux for Shanghai out on point, but it gets nobody. Lip falls, Fate falls. They have a chance and an opening here if they can stay on point, but they... Flutta is low. Pelican is swapped to Genji. Now they're thinking outside the box. This is where Atlanta really thrives. They have a chance here. They're gonna... Pelican looking for an early pick, a very early pick. They're gonna try and spawn camp them at the door. This is a risky, high risk, high reward move. Void falls. They pull back a little bit for... Ooh. Dragons need to touch here. Dragons need to touch here. But they're split. They're split. Immortality Field out on point. But they're still putting in the work. Atlanta should be able to take this point here. They have the advantage. They have the numbers. Gator is split between 2 directions, and he's not getting a lot of healing here. Right now, it's just cleanup, and they should capture point 3 with 1 minute 30 on the time bank. It is almost double the time. Or rather, half of the time from Shanghai. But it is still winnable. A good defense here from Atlanta could secure them this map and keep them in the championship. But will they hold up? This is exciting, and I'm running out of breath. But honestly, the real difference maker here has been the DPS from the Shanghai line. My goodness, they have been insane tonight. Just these crazy flanks, they're causing such a problem for Atlanta. All right. Let's see what they pull out here. Yeah, it depends on when all of this, if I will, did I say if I was going to be playing games? Yeah, it depends on when all of this ends. Because I've been streaming for 2.5 hours now. So it depends on how long this goes and how I feel after everything's all said and done. Seeing as this is flex day and it's supposed to be something different anyway, I'm not gonna say no, but I'm leaning towards probably calling it after the stream. Yeah, today is mostly gonna be focused on the grand finals. So today is mostly gonna be focused on the grand finals. If we have some time, if we have some energy when everything's all said and done, I might hop into some Overwatch, but for right now, I'm not gonna make any guarantees on that. Mostly because, my goodness, I am running out of breath. Trying to call games like this is very difficult. First attack from Atlanta looking very strong. Fate falls first. Hawk with a strong pick on Void. Lee Jae-gong falls. Izayaki falls, and they're going to be able to take point 1 with some time to spare. That is first on the board for Atlanta Reign. Oh. This is a good spot for them to be in, because if they can hold the Dragons to first point and gain some momentum here, they might be able to snowball 3 full points off of this overtime play. But already you have Fleta waiting in the backline with Pulse Bomb already ready. Both support ults are ready for the Atlanta Reign as well. Lee Jae-gong has his amplification matrix ready. Fate gets a little bit low, is already healed up 71% to his supercharger. Izayaki's Pulse Bomb misses by Fleta, but takes out Immortality Field. Gravitic Flux from Pelican gets nobody, but Fate is low. Fate is very low. Can he get healing? A second Gravitic Flux from Hawk takes out Fate. Atlanta is set up and good to move forward. They are going to get a nice cleanup here. Lee Jae-gong falls, and they're going to get a little bit extra resilience here. Fleta still in the backline, causing a little bit of problems for the backline. Lip falls. But they might actually secure point 2 here with next to no contest. They did invest nearly everything in that, though. Pelican gets low, is healed up by Masa. Three ults online for Shanghai Dragons with Fate about to walk in with a supercharger, but they are going to get point 2 with almost no contest. 5-3 currently in overtime with 3 ultimates online and ready. Fate drops his drops Bongo. Dragons out on center. Hawk falls. Iris's Immortality Field goes, and that is a cleanup for Shanghai. Everything invested, but everything gained. 5-3 with 3 minutes on the time bank for Shanghai to take this away. Very good, very strong push from Atlanta. They needed that. They needed that. Hold on a second. I was not paying attention. This is a first to 4. A first to 4. So Atlanta is not quite on the ropes yet, but they do need to win this here. They need to win this here, or it will be match point for the Dragons. That is bad shot calling on my part. I thought this was still, I thought that this was still the original format, but this is tournament format. We are first to 4. This is not match point yet. I want to correct myself in saying this is not match point yet. All right. Shanghai with 3 minutes, 16 seconds ready on the time bank. Thanks for being here, Jack. Have a good night, man. 3 minutes and 16 seconds on the time bank. That is a lot of time to get as far, if not farther, than the Atlanta Reign. Looks like Shanghai is going for their original comp, which was very successful on point 1. Full dive with Wrecking Ball, Void on the Diva. Fleta is already bouncing around the back line, Lip as well. Kai is taken out early by Izayaki, and Resurrection on Kai. But there's nobody on point. They're forced back. A lot of damage coming from Izayaki. That's almost 2 ticks. Almost 2 ticks. They need to push on to point here, or they're going to give up this point for free. Fleta takes out Kai again. And this is going to be basically... Oh, Gator falls. Hawk falls soon after. This is going to be cleanup and point 1 for Shanghai. Very, very strong presence here. Kai goes down again. He's not even back from spawn yet. Very caught out. Very, very caught out. And right now, Shanghai is getting all of this ground for free. Very pushed up because they have not a lot to lose here. They can afford to lose a team fight this early. Lip at 84% to his EMP, and that's going to be huge here. Atlanta's been playing very, very close together lately because they, basically out of necessity. If Lip can connect a massive EMP, that could be point 2 in an instant. Lots of free cart here for the Shanghai Dragons. EMP out and it connects to 4. Masa goes down. Hawk soon to follow. Torb turret taken out by Izayaki, and the Fate goes down early though. At least they get a trade. That should be enough to halt the push, but the cart is still moving forward. And right now, the Reign have respawn advantage. So if they can hold this point at least for another 45 seconds, but Kai and Gator both fall to the Diva Bomb. Oh my goodness. And this is going to be easy cleanup, and it looks like the Shanghai Dragons are going to walk away with point 2 and then some. 30 seconds to go. They might get a recontest here, but I do not think so. I think this is going to go to the Shanghai Dragons and is now match point here in the grand finals. Oh my goodness. They are taking names. They are taking names here tonight. But it is match point for the Shanghai Dragons, and now Atlanta is faced with pulling off nearly the impossible. A reverse sweep of 4 straight maps. We're going to find out soon if they can do it. But I think first we are going to see the exhibition game between the Overwatch League pros for Overwatch 2. I will be right back in a second after I get more water. All right, we are back, and boy, what a grand final it has been. Shanghai showing up strong, incredibly strong at that, with a current 3-0 lead, leaving Atlanta in the position of pulling off the seemingly impossible, the biggest reverse sweep it is possible to have in an Overwatch League game. We are here with a short break from the coverage, and what I assume will be the Overwatch 2 exhibition that a lot of people have been waiting for, myself included, after the break. I'm going to put it on chatting, though, and we're going to talk a little bit. Oh, my goodness. It's a good enough time as any to say thank you to those of you that are here watching me try to commentate this, to call the game a little bit. Thank you. It means a lot that you guys are here just watching me and listening. That's really cool. It feels nice to have some viewers and people who are interested in me doing this. Obviously, this is a bit of a change of pace for the channel because we're normally playing Apex 2 times a week and then playing games today. But it's, you know, it is our flex day and it's a special occasion with the Overwatch League Grand Finals. So I figured I'd try my hand at being a commentator for the day. Now is as good of a time as any to remind you guys that if you are not subscribed to the channel, if you have not liked this video yet, please do that. It really helps people find us while we're live and really helps the channel out. So we're on a pretty solid push to 1,000 subs. We're at 100, or at 100. We're at 524 as of today. So we've still got some momentum going, and you know, we've been picking up people here and there, and I thank you to all the new subscribers. Really means a lot. The support has been really cool for the channel. We will be back with more Apex Legends on Tuesday. Back to our normally scheduled programming. We'll be back at 9 p.m. Eastern, at least for now. There will be some schedule changes coming up in the coming weeks, but on Tuesday, we will be back with our regularly scheduled programming. But we still have more Overwatch to watch tonight, and we've still got more stuff to commentate tonight, and some more Overwatch 2 news to witness in action, so that will be fun. As always, if you like what you see, please leave the video a like. I have some Amazon affiliate links now. So down below, you can check out not only my chat commands, which there are a handful of, and the Magic 8-Ball is always a fun one to use, but I have Amazon affiliate links now that support the channel while we're not monetized, and will continue to support the channel while when we do monetize. So if you are interested in anything that I use to make these videos, whether it be the lighting that I use, or the mouse that I use to play video games, or my keycaps on my keyboard, whatever, all of the links, if it's available on Amazon, all of the links are down below. You can pick that stuff up. I get a cut of it, supports the channel, helps me out. If you like what you see and you don't want to buy something, you could also tip. There is a tip link through Stream Elements because you can't do it through YouTube yet until I get monetized. No pressure, obviously, to do so, but if you want to show a little bit of extra support today, always appreciated. Buy me a beer, that kind of stuff. You know how it be. But again, no pressure to do so. Everything is appreciated. Honestly, you guys being here watching this is support as well. So thank you for that. We have coverage continuing on Overwatch in 50 more seconds, and we are hopefully going to see some Overwatch 2 gameplay performed by the pros, so we know if this new Bastion rework is going to be as bonkers and banana cuckoo crazy as they suggested. Whew. That's how drinking the water feels after a speech like that. But this has been a fun stream. If this is something that you guys are interested in, by all means, let me know. I would be more than happy to commentate on this later. This video, this VOD, will be up on the VOD playlist after the stream goes off air. You'll be able to watch it back and catch anything that you might have missed. If you are watching this and you don't want to watch the whole thing, you can also catch it back later. And coverage is returning, I think, but let's see what they have to offer us.
Hawaii, everyone's having a great time.
And they sent these guys to Hawaii, which I am super jealous of because I would love to be doing this. I would love to be doing this in Hawaii.
We're back here on the deck with Jonathan Reinforced Larson, Scott Kennedy, and Danny Lindland. It's been a while.
Oh, wow.
That one, a throwback.
Wow. Throwback.
A classic, a real classic. It's also a classic to make the grand finals as quick as possible, apparently, in the Overwatch League. So, you know, in tradition, we just keep that one up. Walk us through how
the grand finals have actually historically been particularly fast, both in previous years. San Francisco Shock has basically swept the last two in a pretty resounding manner, and it looks like the Dragons are on track to do just the same.
You know, I don't think they were expected to win it in the first place. You gotta take this one on the chin because Shanghai Dragons, they were the upper seed.
I love this commentary about how Atlanta wasn't expected to win, and so they have to sort of take this on the chin. Like that really speaks more to the tournament format. Like the double elimination thing, it's weird because like if you are knocked down to the losers bracket and you're facing the team that won out on the winners bracket, it's pretty clear who's going to win. Like obviously you have the chance for a Cinderella story, but even still, it's a bit of a stretch to think maybe the losers bracket winner is really going to pull it off. But once again, you know, Shanghai has really shown today that they are probably the most adaptable team in the league right now. They have a very strong rush comp. They have a very, 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 very clean dive comp, and they're not even using some of the more meta Legends heroes like Winston. They're actually going off meta, which is pretty remarkable, and it's something to be said for it. Like I said, they came here to win today, and it's very obvious.
The Shanghai Dragons to do other things as well, but they need to be willing to adapt and also just sort of out-strategize the Shanghai Dragons. On Hanamura, with that brawl comp at the final moments, they had a great bait TP, and the Atlanta Rangers fell over because of that. The compositions they played in Kings Road, very smart as well. Atlanta needs to be smarter and quicker with their adaptations as well, because they're not going to get away with just playing the brawl.
Well, we will see who will be crowned Grand Finals champion with the second round coming up shortly, but first, I mean, we've been talking about it all day long already. It's time to get our first glimpse of Overwatch 2 in the hands of Overwatch League pros. So let's send it over to our casters, standing by Uber and Mr. X.
Thank you very much, everybody. My God,
against Sombra. I'm really excited to be able to get to cast it. Obviously, see some of the players that we've had in the playoffs play it in a highly competitive setting, right? These players, throughout this play test, were going pretty hard. Obviously, they don't want their first showing in Overwatch 2 to be pretty cool. They obviously wanted to win pretty hard. So I'm excited to see some of this.
We heard a little bit from Space about some of his insights and his takeaways from the playtest and from this specific match. We got to see a little bit of a glimpse of it. But let's talk about who we actually got in this example to sit down and play through the game. Again, we're not using the same teams in the middle, mixing matches. But Team 1 is Assassin, Kevs, the Space, Shu and Moth, and Team 2 fights Dak.
And obviously a large portion, I know all of these players come from the Justice and the Gladiators. Those are the players, obviously, who's first from the Western region. They've had the most hands-on time with the game. I think probably some fun where they want to just play their full team against their full team and decided to mess around. The things that I'm looking at, it'll be fun to see Moth play, right? We haven't seen him play in a while. It'll just be fun to see him play some Overwatch 2. And then to see Space, how he kind of adjusts to playing in a solo tank.
All right.
A little bit of it. I know some of the highlights during the pre-show. It'll be fun to see what it looks like, though, once we get into game.
Yeah, we're going to be taking you into game in just a second, ladies and gentlemen. So bear with us now. Exciting times, of course, to get to see the reveal here of some high-level Overwatch 2 gameplay, Matthew. It's going to be Rome, the push map.
All right, so we're going to be getting gameplay footage of Rome, it looks like.
For Overwatch in Overwatch 2.
Let's see what we got here. And they're going to be showcasing the brand new game mode, which is Push.
What's really great about this is obviously that there's not many scenarios.
Obviously some heavy hitters on the pro squad to showcase what some of these changes are going to be like. We didn't really get any true gameplay when they announced the game back in March, and mostly because it was the devs playing, and so the play styles are going to be obviously very different. We'll now have a chance to see how the pros can actually break the game, and obviously these aren't all of the changes, but we are going to be showcasing the new changes to both Sombra and Bastion, which is crazy. Space on main tank, Mag on also on main tank, and it looks like we're going to be basically seeing mirror comps from here, other than the supports. Now we'll have an idea of what 5v5 is going to look like, but my guess would be extremely aggressive.
Space coming out of the spawn, right? I know being able to get right towards that choke and the double fire strike. So some changes there with Reinhardt as we get to the mix. So this is a pretty deadly area of the map, right? A large, long corridor. It's something that you usually don't really have like a lot.
Interesting. So now the main point of this game mode is to get the little robot guy all the way to the other side. It's essentially an escort map, and oh my goodness. The mobile Bastion. It's gonna mean that you really have to abuse the cover in this game. Sombra hacking from invisibility, I still think that is insane. Space with an incredible fire strike taking out Mag and then knocking Bird Ring, Closer, and Skewed all in one really quick fashion. So they're going to take first offense here with their little robot man pushing. His name is 2? Apparently the robot's name is 2, TWO, which is a little weird. And we got Junkrat out here from Bird Ring. Ooh, Space going aggressive and going for the Rhine duel after getting nanoed and wins handily. What's interesting about this Rome map, it looks like there's a fair amount of cover, which is going to be very, very good for the game, especially if they're making all these changes to make the playstyle a lot more aggressive. I see a lot of space where people can hide and bunker down. Shatter missed by Space. Assassin goes down to Bird Ring. Assassin gets the res, but Shu falls to Bird Ring. The UI of this is very interesting too. It's a lot cleaner and simpler, and I kind of like that, to be honest. This is looking like a cleanup for Team 2, which is going to allow them to push the robot a little bit further back. Now, I'm not sure how this is going to work out, but I think what's going to happen is as whichever robot gets furthest by the end of the time is going to be the winner. Progress marks on both sides to match things up. That's a nice little touch. I think what we're, I think the main, what a shatter. And this is going to be a massive blade as well. Impressive. Very impressive.
Obviously, Overwatch, a very fast-paced game, but in 5v5, just the aggression and fast pace you can play at, and I think it's a great point, right?
It does speed. Oh, and here we see our first mortar barrage from. Wow. Okay, so in practical use, it's not that crazy. Okay, it really, again, like Bastion's current state, it punishes you if you stand still. Massive ultimate, a massive EMP from Decay. And this should just be cleanup, but it's hard to say because 5v5 makes things a lot more fluid, I think. Fluid in the sense where it could go either way in a team fight, because with that extra tank down, it really limits the survivability of your team significantly. So in both accounts, if you manage to focus down your main tank and keep everybody else up, it's going to be a lot more, I suppose, cagey.
Sounds. It's one of the things where I think speaking to some of the players who have had some hands on, they're like, man, damage just feels so.
And now Team 2, Red Team, is currently leading, but not by much, only about 10 meters. This is a game mode that I think is supposed to replace 2CP, and honestly, I could see it going just as long, because especially when teams really have a chance to bear down on this and we see more how the game has changed, because obviously these aren't, the tanks haven't been changed at all yet. Really. Minus one or two things. I think the Reinhardt changes are active, which is why the Reinhardt is the main pick right now. But it looks like Team 1 is going to get a little bit of an advantage here with just over 2.5 minutes to go. This is very interesting. I do like this play style. I think it's going to be a nice change from 2CP. And now a big series of trades with another huge blade from Birdring. And the little robot man starts to turn around again. It's very comical. I like that a lot. Grab out from space, and it looks like they're going to have the team fight advantage here. And that's going to be clean up. Space just running over everyone with the Zarya. He is solidifying himself very handily as one of the best players in the world right now, one of the best tank players in the world. Showing some versatility on the Reinhardt, too, which is really impressive. 23% already to his next ultimate. Impressive, because Zarya is still, from the looks of things, the slowest charging ultimate in the game. Shu is in trouble here, but Kevster manages to peel for him. But he's not. It's not enough, because Birdring's Reaper just shows up behind and takes him to school. Oh, and there's a little icon for when for how you're being affected by the Mercy. That is a cool touch. I like that a lot. And it turns around again, but Team 2 has got a ways to go to bring that robot boy back. Currently down by some 30 meters. A little bit less than 30, but with 30 seconds left, they have to get that guy moving. Looks like we're going to see this end in overtime most likely, but Mag is doing some cleanup right now, and they're moving. They are moving. It's almost hard to commentate this because I'm a little swept up by the gameplay myself, trying to see exactly how everything has changed. I feel like this is something I'm going to review a couple of times and maybe make a video about specifically. And we are in overtime here with Moth with the first pick that is necessary. Tracer Pulse Bomb online here in a second. And Team 1 is winning this team fight and should be taking the map. That should speed up some of the gameplay as well because there's no like back and forth. Everybody's on sort of on the same attack or defense side of things. So it's going to be a nice replacement for 2CP, I think. It is very much designed to like speed up the gameplay, I think. I really like that map a lot. I think that's going to be a nice addition to the game. I don't know if they're going to play another map or if that was all we get as sort of a teaser for Overwatch 2. It opens up the doors quite a bit for adaptability during the game because at any given point you are either attacking or defending, so you have to be able to swap on the fly, and it looks like ultimates are charging up a lot faster as well, just in general. So I think that's going to be a nice change of pace. It definitely speeds things up a little bit. All right, so I think that's all we get for our Overwatch 2 teaser, and we're going to be going back to the Shanghai Atlanta Grand Final, with Shanghai currently leading 3-0 in the series, leaving Atlanta in the position where they have to basically complete what is effectively seemingly impossible. They have to do a 4-game reverse sweep. It's not impossible, it's not undoable, but I don't know. I do not know. So we are going to see here in a second. Making fun of the sound design, unfortunately, because Overwatch 2 made a really big deal about the sound design of the game. The Overwatch team made a big deal about the sound design of the game back in March when they revealed things. They're like, oh, we spent so much time on this, and it's cool. It's like more immersive or something. And everyone's like, yeah, but is that why it's so late?
Thank you.
I could not hear you, but I assume you said I'm doing great.
That's what I'm
happy to be here.
They're having some technical difficulties over there. Here, let me get some reaction going for this side of the segment as well.
Tell me, how has it been for you to get to watch pro players playing your baby Overwatch 2?
It's been really great. I didn't actually think it was going to have this effect on me, so I'm just kind of riffing here, but that was really special. If you think about it, this is the first time that anybody in the public has played our game. And as a developer, to just be able to work on something for such a long period of time and finally put it out and see it being played, and especially being played at like such a high
Aaron
level,
Keller giving off really strong Jeff Kaplan vibes right now.
Emotionally significant for me, and I'm sure
rest in peace, Jeff. It's not dead, just gone.
Oh, I bet it does. Yeah, we got emotional too watching it. That was just so much fun.
They got emotional. I wasn't emotional. I was very intrigued. I think that was probably the better way to put that. Very intrigued.
For it to be played? Like, did they use it as supposed to do?
They followed the script perfectly. Yeah.
Perfect.
There's script for everything.
I mean, that's what makes
Everything
it
is
so, man.
scripted. Nothing is real.
Hi, Aaron.
Hey.
just wanted to say hi before I ask my question. Hello.
Very polite. He's very polite.
You know,
Danny's so enthusiastic. He's very happy to be here.
So my question is actually about the players as well. You know, we've seen some of the best Overwatch League players play Overwatch 2. Was there a standout player for you, or was there a player that impressed you the most?
Space.
Birdring. If we're talking about the match we just watched,
Space and Birdring were on fire.
The tanks were even more effective than I was expecting them to be, and especially on
they were more effective than I was expecting them to be, because we expected them to blow up with all the changes we made to the DPS line.
That the push robot follows, but through the middle of the map, there's this cut through that the teams can take, and I was really impressed with the way a lot of times the tanks would cut through the middle and either push or cut off people from the other team.
A really strong takeaway is that once again the objective is also cover. So, but this middle section of the map is so bottled up. Like there's a lot of natural cover to play around, which is going to be very, very important. I'm telling you, that's going to be a huge factor for the success of this 5v5 format.
Taking the fight to the other team using a lot of these other areas of the map. So it was really cool watching that, and it was really cool seeing how the tanks handled it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just really cool to see like how the game has changed with one hero out of the lineup, really. And something that I'm
it completely flips the meta on its head, because I honestly believe that it makes the support roles a little bit more DPS focused as well. Like it's much harder for them to stay alive as well. It's going to make playing support significantly more difficult, I think, because you have a lot less peel with one less tank, specifically in your off tank. If your off tank has to frontline now, you have a lot less peel for your healers in tricky situations, and with the damage output, it's just going to be insane.
Is going to take place in. Our plan is that we will have all of those heroes, all 32 of those heroes,
awesome,
playable for the next season of Overwatch League, and who knows, there might even be a few more.
Okay. Okay, the vague there might be a few more heroes. There better be. There better be a few more heroes. Like if you're showing up to Overwatch 2 with minimal content, I'm telling you that's a recipe for disaster. Looking at you, Apex Legends.
But we didn't get to see the entire hero roster, you know, of course.
Obviously it's going to be live service, so like they can add stuff as things go forward, but like you have to make this thing different, otherwise people are going to be really mad if you wasted 5 years and don't turn up with a product.
I'm really looking forward to them getting a handle.
Almost 6 years, actually.
The way the new heroes work and how all of that works on some of our.
It will be 6 years at that point. It will have been 6 years that the game has been out, and if you don't show up with enough content on day one, people are going to be furious.
And he's so powerful in push because the teams are a lot closer together in a mode like this. And they're always kind of just like dancing right at the edge of each other. And so heroes like that, we saw Doomfist out there, we saw Genji out there. They're really able to make big plays. And
the thing is, like, obviously there's some adaptability to be talked about here, but I really honestly think that what we just witnessed were pros trying to showcase as many of the differences at one time as possible. I don't think when this becomes a pro format, I don't think we're going to see as much change during the game as we saw there, because ult economy is still going to be a huge factor. I think there will be a defined meta, but I also think that that swaps are going to become a more timed dance almost, where you have to really pull your punches in terms of what ultimates are really truly valuable and where and when you can swap, especially in a thing like push where your attack or defense can change on a dime. I think you're going to see your DPS line split between a hero that has one hero that has a super impactful ultimate and a hero that has maybe one that is that's almost a throwaway, where if you have to swap on a dime, it's not gonna be as consequential.
All of the action takes place in the middle of the map, or most of it does, on or around the control point. And then in a payload map, you have action kind of happening all the way through the map, and team fights happen in different areas. And so it's not just that the different hero compositions and what the teams are doing affect any of those team fights or any of the combat, but the actual map geometry does that too. So with something like push, it's a symmetrical game mode, just like control is, but you're fighting all the way across the map in both directions. And then on top of that, the robot has different speeds in that map too. So
Yeah, the robot changes speed as the game progresses, and also it works. It seems to work similar to a payload, where the more people that are around it, the faster it goes.
The other side of the map.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now I do wonder. I mean, making a sequel, it's always a tall order. Even more so when the first one has been such a successful title. What was the most important thing for you and your team to preserve moving from Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2?
The thing that I think is a hallmark of Overwatch is the way the heroes move, the way that they kind of synergize with each other, and the way that all of our game modes and our maps demand teams to work together.
Well, it's 100% the format of the game.
By yourself in Overwatch, you have to work with your team.
You have to work with your team, but the game is designed to punish you for playing with your friends.
The new game mode that we saw tonight, Push, does it.
That is the underlying issue. One of the biggest underlying issues with Overwatch is that it is a team-based game, and yet the MMR system is designed to punish you for playing with your friends.
Just jumping into the game and strafing back and forth feels good. Blinking around a map as Tracer feels amazing. So we had to preserve that. We had to make it feel like it was this same.
It seems like they're focusing a lot on the physical interaction with the game, and that's fine, but there is still the thing that this is supposed to be a competitive shooter with an esport side of it.
So it looked like everything we wanted, and then
That being said, like, I am of the opinion that balancing a game for professionals isn't necessarily the way to go, because pros will find a way to break anything if you let them. And so, like, even if everything is terrible and boring, like, they're still gonna find a way to break it. So you might as well make it exciting and let them break each other.
Would you? Would you?
Yeah, why did I bring that up myself? That was a huge mistake. But okay, I can't talk about
yourself.
I can't talk about when the game is gonna ship, but I think one of the really exciting things
Because he doesn't know.
Overwatch League is going to be playing. The
Overwatch League is going to be playing an early beta of the game, is effectively what's going to happen. For those of you that don't know this, Overwatch League is going to, because it's a business, because Overwatch League is a money printer, they need to make sure that there's not an entire year off. So the game is going to ship to the Overwatch League players in summer of next year, and then we get the game when we get the game. It's far enough along that they want the league playing it, so, which is honestly that's a good thing, because if the league is playing it in beta, you're gonna find out real quick what needs toned down, because I think some of these changes are gonna need toned down. The Bastion thing didn't seem as offensive today as it could have been, but that being said, it was pros playing it, so other pros on the receiving end know how to deal with it. That's something. The changes there seem like something that could spiral out of control on the lower tiers very quickly. And I don't know if that'll collectively bring the level of player up as a whole, but I guess we're gonna find out. And in 4 minutes, we head back to our regularly scheduled program. I am almost out of water again, so I'm gonna fill up once more, take a very short break here, and I will be back in about 2 minutes, hydrated and ready to finish this off. All right. We are back. And 2 minutes away from what might be the last map of the 2021 Overwatch League Grand Finals. As always, if you're watching me right now, instead of watching the official coverage of the game, thank you so much for being here. It is very much appreciated. All of the support has been awesome. You guys are great. Really enjoy talking to you guys. So thank you for being here. Thank you for watching me. Thank you for joining me on Flex Day while I pretend to be a sports commentator. That's really, really cool. And again, the support is very much appreciated. If you haven't done so already, please leave this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell while you're at it so that you know that when I go live every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, usually with Apex Legends, sometimes with Overwatch stuff. But leave this video a like if you haven't done so already. It helps people find us while we're live, which we will be for at least one more match. And also, if you're interested in any of the stuff that I use up here while I'm making these videos, making these live streams, producing all of this, you can find links to the gear that I use down below. They are all Amazon affiliate links, and they help the channel, since the channel is not currently monetized. So I can't get that sweet ad revenue. But yeah, you can help the channel out by picking up some great Amazon gear through those links. And also, if you feel so inclined, you can tip the channel. Because I have a tip button that runs through Stream Elements for right now until YouTube gives me the ability to do it here. But we are just 30 seconds away for coverage continuing for the grand finals. And again, I just want to give a very, very brief thank you to all of you. Super cool that y'all are watching me do this. I'm gonna tone my voice down a little bit as we get into the end of the the end of the finals here, just to spare myself because I've been doing a lot of talking tonight. We are now at the 3-hour mark, and this is a bit longer than I normally stream. So we go back in now. And Shanghai has been putting on a show, a masterclass on aggressiveness tonight, and honestly, I am truly impressed by what I've seen. Mitch Leslie with an unstoppable blazer, Matt Morello, Matt MRX as he goes by in his tag, with a very interesting pocket square and a doodle involved in that. Not sure what that's about, but who knows. And the ascot, like, man showed up with drip today. Drip, the Aussie with style. So yes, it looks like the Atlanta Reign are in very dire straits tonight. To be honest, I am not particularly surprised that they're down this. Well, I'm not surprised to see them down currently. I expected them to have some trouble dealing with Shanghai. I didn't expect them to have this much trouble. They look comparatively neutered from last night when they took on Dallas. They were so much more aggressive. They had basically this almost reckless abandonment to them where they were just going in and getting it done. Havana is going to be their pick for the escort map, and we're going to see right now if that was a good choice on their end. It's a fairly decent choice, I think, for them, especially if they're trying to force metas out of Shanghai. But Shanghai has proven tonight that they're very flexible. They have a lot in their wheelhouse that they can pull from. They have a very, very successful rush. They have a very successful dive. We'll see how that holds up on Havana, but I expect to see a little bit more of the same. Can Atlanta hold on for at least one more map? Let's find out together, shall we? That's a lot of words. It looks like Shanghai is going to be on defense to start, and Atlanta is going to be going on offense. I am curious to see if Shanghai shows up with a rush attack, or with a rush and tries to hold them at spawn. A pretty common tactic in the Overwatch League, and one that has been successful before, but they are going right out with dive. Gator play, rush mirror. Oh my God, there's some fun talk in the chat. I love that. I love that. You love to see the good spirits and some nice funny banter between the teams as they go into what could be the final match of the Overwatch League season this year. Goats. I love this. I'm actually very much enjoying this banter.
And it's going to have to be something special. Yeah, Gator tries to parlay a little bit with the Dragons, but they will not be bargained with. Here comes the rain on the Orisa. The Sigma look. It's going to be
all right. Shanghai starting off pretty far back, giving a little bit of space to Atlanta to start this off. They're not going to be playing from spawn, but Lip is already in the back, harassing the back line a fair bit. He's not... Oh, and we've got Kai pulling out the Pelican pulling out the Torbjorn. Fate. Interesting. With Kai on Hanzo getting a first pick onto Izayaki. What a shot. Little bit of speed to pick up, and Void falls as well. They have an opening here. The backline is still being harassed, but Fate and Void are both going to fall, and it looks like this is just going to be cleanup for Fight 1. A very clean start for the Atlanta Reign.
You're on the ropes. Everybody expects you to.
This is very clean play from them, which I like to see considering how down they are in this tournament currently. I think they need this little bit of a boost to push forward, but they're going to need to continue that momentum going forward. Obviously, any chance they have right now is going to hinge on their ability to to really push the cart this map. Izayaki falls again! Taken out of position, but Kai and Iris fall shortly behind, and Pelican's turret is out. This is now going to be a little bit dangerous. Oh, Hawk is going to be burnt down pretty easily by Fleta. Masa goes as well, and that is going to be cleanup for the Shanghai Dragons. Lip is going to have an EMP online. Pelican is going to have Torb alt. Gator is going to have his supercharger ready, and both support alts going online for both the Atlanta Reign and actually the Dragons. Izayaki is not too far from his Transcendence, but Fate is in the backline looking to disrupt some things. Got the attention of Kai. Gator's supercharger is out in a good position. Fate falls through, connects massive EMP from Lip, connecting on 6. And this is just going to be the fight, I think, for Shanghai if they do not secure a pick here. Gator goes down, Immortality Field is out, and they're just getting thrown backwards. Minute 40 remaining on the clock for Atlanta to really to get something out of this. Anything at this point. And it's just brutality now. Shanghai investing a fair amount into that, but it's not going to matter too much at this point because they can't get Atlanta can't get a foothold back this time. Lee Jae-gon falls. Fleta is taken out of his ultimate. With a minute remaining, Fate is taken out, and the Atlanta Reign push back towards point. They might have an opening here, but not much of one. If anything, they really need to go aggressive here. But Shanghai is going to get a recontest. Lip falls, taken a little bit out of position, and gets a little bit ambitious just to stall long enough to let Fate to come back. Gravitic Flux taking out Void. Fate is taken out. He can't stall very long. It looks like Atlanta's going to secure point 1 here. Pelican is playing very, very well right now, but he is... I think he's on the McCree exclusively to counter... I think exclusively to counter Fate at this point. His hit scan is very strong, though, so I wouldn't be surprised. Supercharger almost online again for Gator. Fate with Mines, Void with Gravitic Flux, and Lip with another EMP. Masa will be here with a rally, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to stop what's coming in if Lip can connect another 6-man EMP. Kai is pretty low, but he's out of the range of his supports.
Lip's going to have one of these EMPs. He's so good with it. That'll be a Gravitic Flux here from Void. Nothing gets canceled.
Izayaki with his Transcendence ready. Probably going to save that for Gator's ultimate. Void looking pretty low. Fate looking very low. Fleta and Lip also. The problem with this Shanghai composition is when either of your supports falls, it's very hard to get any healing done because of the AoE effect that that Brigitte has. with Brigitte out of the picture, Izayaki cannot heal his team as effectively because he only has one orb and it does not deal that much healing per second. Fate looking very low. And Atlanta has very nearly 5 ultimates, using dragons already to just zone from the looks of things right now. But they're getting cart for free at this point with 1:21 left on the clock. Fate falls, Pelican is traded out. But Kai is really the star of the show right now, holding enough pressure that Atlanta can secure point 2. They have about 2.5 minutes, which is enough to get them into 3, but they're not going to have a lot left in the bank unless they get a really strong push right here. They invested next to nothing to get that point, however. So we have Kai on the Widowmaker and Massa getting very close to a rally. If they cycle these ults appropriately, there's nothing really yet for the Shanghai Dragons. Taking out Fleta with what a pick from Kai. And Lip is looking for him. We have a nice Widow duel to potentially close out the finals this time around. What a shot, and Fate is very, very low. Massa getting close, oh, Massa is low. Iris is low. Iris is taken out. Kai goes down, loses to Fleta. And Pelican falls as well. This is going to be cleanup now for the Shanghai Dragons, and we're going to see another fight. But really, the Atlanta Reign didn't invest all that much to go forward. They still have 2 rather important ults moving forward. It's just a matter of whether they can take position early enough to make it count. The shots from Fleta are just insane. His hit scan is blistering right now. Hawk throwing out his Gravitic Flux is going to take some damage onto Izayaki, and oh my goodness, but it doesn't matter. Fleta and Lip are just killing everything in the back line. Gator is under a lot of pressure. Gator falls, still with a supercharger in his back pocket, but he hasn't had a chance to use it yet. Iris is gone as well. That leaves Massa in the back line, and oh my goodness, it is just brutal here. They cannot get a foothold again. They have an opening with Rally here, but I'm not sure they're going to have a chance to use it. 40 seconds left on the clock with Kai having walls, and it goes up. Lip with the counter. Fate about half. Fate running low. Massa falls, and then Izayaki is traded out. Gator low, and Kai loses the 1v1 versus the Widow. And now Widow has free reign to do whatever she wants. 13 seconds, Massa falls. This is going to, I think, be where it ends for Atlanta. It is not unwinnable for Atlanta at this point, but nobody can touch, and Shanghai has a very solid win condition now. 2 points and a handful of meters. A very solid win condition for Shanghai. All they have to do is push it 55.2 meters past point 2. This could be it. Atlanta's going to have to put up a hell of a defense here if they want to stay in this. The momentum slowed, however, and I'm not sure if that was going to be enough. They played very well on points 1 and 2. Very, very strong presence. They managed to get their foothold after the about halfway through the first point, and I think, and that really helped them. Oh, this is a very interesting choice here. Pelican going on the Reaper. They're going to try for the spawn hold. They are going to try for the infamous spawn hold here. Normally you would see a Mei being played here to sort of force and channel your opponents, but it looks like they're going to go for sort of a sneaky side play. I would very much like to move away from that. Nope, they are going right at the door. Right at the door. And this is a very high-risk play. High risk, high reward. It is meant to stall time, but Kai is already down. Iris is down. Izayaki taken out by Gator. Pelican falls to Lip, and Hawk takes out Fate. It's a fairly decent trade, but it looks like it's going to favor Shanghai here. Oh! They won it. They are taking no prisoners here. All supports are down. It is just the tanks, and they are going to get staggered as long as possible here. Really, that is not meant to... That type of attack is not meant to hold them at spawn. It is only meant as a time waster. And again, it is a very high risk, high reward play, and in this case, it was not executed properly. Atlanta got split pretty early on and lost Kai in a very early 1v1. Izayaki falls early to Pelican. Void and Fate both looking very low here, but Hawk is also looking pretty low. They're dropping onto Cart, and they are forcing out the Zarya. Zarya goes down. Masa, however, is traded out. Not the best trade. Beat goes out, and Pelican, Kai, and Masa all fall. Gator falls. Earth Shatter only picking one, and it's going to be another cleanup for Shanghai. And Shanghai are feeling it, you can tell. Fleta is playing out of his mind on the Tracer right now. The movement is insane. The aim is out of this world. They want it, and they have 3 ultimates online with a Pulse Bomb and Void with his, Void with his Black Hole not far behind. I lost my train of thought for a second. And they're investing a lot to take this first point here. I don't think it's necessary, but, you know, as I say that, Iris takes out Void and Lip, but Pelican is traded out. And the Dragons, this is going to be Dragons push ended right here. Grav and Pulse Bomb online with Lee Jae-gong's Beat not far behind it. We have a Diva Bomb and High Noon for zoning, but the High Noon goes out and does not connect because he has slept, and it looks like Kai is going to be taken out early, and Gator is under pressure. Gator falls to Fleta. Hawk is out of mech, and Bomb goes out, doesn't catch anybody. Void takes out Iris as well, and now it's going to be another cleanup, it looks like, for Shanghai. The Dragons are just on fire right now. Even when they lose a team fight, they come back looking stronger than they did in the prior fight. They are learning and adapting, and it shows. They are out to win this today. And the only question that remains is, can they win it here? Void is still sitting on Grav, which is very interesting. Masa gets picked early yet again. And Grav goes out to take out Hawk, and Fleta is traded out. A very charged Void is just burning through Atlanta right now. Ugh. And this is almost hard to watch. I'm gonna keep watching it. Shanghai Dragons with Primal, Nano, and and Dragons and Beat all online right now. Atlanta with only a Shatter, and Wall, and the first pick goes once again to Lip. Pelican falls, and Hawk takes. Fate goes down. Beat is out. And this is madness. This is absolute madness. Gator falls yet again, but the picks keep trading, and now both tanks, it looks like, are down for Shanghai, but they're forcing Atlanta back. Monkey is in again, and Lee Jae-gong takes out Kai. Pelican falls as well. And the Dragons just will not go down. They will not go down without a fight here. They should have lost this fight 5 minutes ago, but they're just keep coming back and pushing. And now their win condition becomes very clear. 2 minutes 45 just to go, a handful of meters. Their win condition is strong. You have Lee Jae-gong early looking for what appears to be a boop or a cheeky little play, but he's gonna get a nice escape. 4 ultimates online. 3 ultimates with 2 supports. Lee Jae-gong goes down. Fate into Primal. And Void is going to fall as well. This might be a team fight very quickly cleaned up by Atlanta, and Shanghai invested quite a bit with only 2 support ults close and Fleta with a pulse bomb ready. Atlanta still has some ultimates here. They have Death Blossom. Hawk is going to have bombs soon and 2 support ults ready to go. If they engage here with Beat, and they do, and both support ults go out, they have a chance for an easy fight win here. Gator connects on 2 with his Shatter, and now it's a nice cleanup. They get a free fight win here. They are holding Atlanta close right now. Death Blossom still ready, bomb as well. Gator looking low. He's gonna, they need to get him, and Gator's gonna fall and pellet. Oh no. Lip and Fleta. Oh, and that is gonna be it. That is gonna be it with a crazy pulse bomb turnaround from Fleta. The Shanghai Dragons have done it. A 4 and out against the Atlanta Reign. Truly insane stuff coming from them. Very outrageously good performance coming from Shanghai. GG's in the chat. That is GG's to both Shanghai and Atlanta. As I said, I was wearing red for Shanghai. Even though I was low-key rooting for Atlanta. Not kidding. Impressive stuff from the former MVP from last year, Fleta, and his entire team. Just stellar performance all around. Very few notes. These guys showed up to play today, and it shows. Pretty predictable outcome. I kind of had a feeling this was going to be a Shanghai year when Atlanta forced their way through the losers bracket. I don't think there are many teams right now that could have stood up to this kind of comp difference ultimately. But that is, you know, that is one thing. Real crazy stuff, but super exciting match play there. I want to thank everybody who joined me tonight for this. It was super cool to have some people watch me try and commentate this. I hope I did a decent job. Got some really cool looks at Overwatch 2, some of the changes that are coming to the game. We got to see some of the pros play it and try to break it, doing a pretty good job at that. Really cool to watch that as well. Obviously, this is, you know, it's Saturday, it's a flex day for us, so we will be back with more Apex on Tuesday. We've been streaming for a little over 3.5 hours. My voice is very tired, so I am going to start closing it out here. Thank you guys so very much for watching this. Like I said, it means a lot. The support has been crazy. We got a fair amount of views tonight. We got a fair amount of likes tonight. It was a really fun time, really fun for me to give this a shot and try it out. GG's to everybody that showed up here tonight. As always, there's still time to like this video if you haven't done it already. Still time to subscribe to the channel. As always, if you aren't already subscribed, hit that notification bell so you know when I go live every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. You get notified when new videos go live. It's a thing that YouTube does that's actually very, very helpful to the channel. New videos out on a new schedule every single Wednesday from here on out, unless the analytics tell me that I should pick a better day. Oh my god, my voice is running out here. But once again, thank you so much. The support has been tremendous. Check out the Amazon links down below if you're interested in anything that I used to make this stream possible. And yeah, what a great way to end the Overwatch season. I'm super excited for the Overwatch 2 Overwatch League to start next year. Gonna be really awesome to see what they come up with in the new game. Here's to Overwatch 2 coming out hopefully before I die of old age. And yeah, congratulations to the 2021 champions of the Overwatch League, the Shanghai Dragons. GG's to the Atlanta Reign. Thank you guys for joining me tonight for this little vanity project of me commentating, and until Tuesday. Thank you so very much for watching. Cheers, everybody. GG's.
Phasing.